Leafs-Bruins, Game 7. One more time. You knew it was going to happen. And we are all here. We are all ready for it here. Nerves and all. Hello and welcome to The House That Happens, recorded live from Cruz's deck this time, but we are sponsored by Shuey's Bar and Grill in Etobicoke, the only place to be, voted 4 times the best dive bar in all the GTA. We are wishing you a happy May the 4th. We're recording on, and it is also episode 100.
And on that note, hi, my name is Cruz. This is where
I'm Andrew Milani.
Yes, and this is where the chaos usually begins whenever we want to change the opinions of the whole galaxy. Is that how you put it? Because we're the house that happened. We're starting as a house. We're building a mansion. Is that so to speak? And on that
building
note,
a Death Star.
We should have a cheers here. We should have
Absolutely.
a little cheers because we are in the heart of North Etobicoke. So should we say that?
Absolutely. And
I often hear that. Sorry, I often hear that Leaf Nation was spawned right here. Is that true?
Allegedly. I know that this is all before my time.
Okay, well, Doug Ford was a kid here. Ken Dryden was a kid here. Paul Henderson was a kid here. Name some more people. I don't know, but they were here like in the 60s. They know who Johnny Bauer is.
Everyone knows who Johnny Bauer
is. Okay, so Turk Broda?
There we go. Silaps.
Yeah, a bunch of those guys. Don't forget David Keon. I'm just saying, we're going to have a lot of Toronto talk, but we had a little bit of difficulty getting the show off the ground today. But I personally believed it would have been inept of us not to get on the air and just say what the temperature of the city is. Now, remember, I'm Switzerland. You know what I mean?
Allegedly.
I am. I'm hoping for the Leafs. I really am, because for the city, the proprietors of restaurants and bars, the comfortableness of everything in the surrounding area, I just want Torontonians to know that more hearts are broken on Saturday night than Thursday night.
The broken hearts are going to be in Boston this time.
That's what we want to hear. You know what I'm saying? I like the temperature of the city, though. I've been walking around. I'm seeing a lot of... I had my dog out. I will go again. I've seen a lot of Leaf gear on. I'm definitely going to go for a walk this afternoon in a Habs shirt, though, for sure. I definitely will walk around the neighborhood, like the bright red one. Like, you know, that's almost neon. Yeah, just to say, hi, Leaf fans, how you doing today? You a little nervous? Have you met my dog? You want to go for a beer?
I think we're feeling pretty confident. Everyone I've talked to.
Okay, well we're going to get to it. We're just going to say maybe or maybe not. It should be the Joseph Wall miracle, because I'm going to go back and check the tapes, even though we now have 100. And I'm going to check the tapes because I do know somewhere I thought that Joseph Wall would start the playoffs, which he didn't. But I thought he would be the hero to take you to the conference finals.
Well, we'll see.
You're going to see. You got Florida next anyway, but we'll get to that. How was your week?
Pretty good. I saw the Zendaya tennis movie Challengers on Monday. It's pretty good.
Oh, okay.
Great soundtrack, too. Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross doing the soundtrack. So kind of like a
And what's the name of this?
Challengers.
Okay. Where will I find it? On Prime?
It's still in the theaters right now, but
okay.
It'll be on streaming soon, as everything is.
That sounds good. Soundtrack must have been trippy.
Oh, it was awesome. They came out with like a remixed soundtrack too. I've been listening to that this week. It's awesome.
That's a good thing. I like anything that Trent Reznor will put his hands on. I'd like to take a look at, because he's a pretty clever character, so to speak.
Yeah, and I love that he's doing movie soundtracks now. Like, I loved his Social Network soundtrack. I listened to that a lot too. He
did some cool music for video games. What do you mean?
Quake.
Yeah, was that what it was?
Yeah.
Like, did you hear the music on that? And I go, wow, the guy I'm not going to say he wasted it, because the game was synonymous with the soundtrack, correct? I'm not a gamer, so
although for a while, like the Quake the Trent Reznor soundtrack wasn't in there because of like a licensing deal, and like Trent Reznor kind of blamed his agent, I think, or something. But now they re-released it. The original soundtrack is back in the game, so
I might have to take a look at that too one of these days. You know, when I stay up on pop culture.
Quake's awesome. It changed first-person shooters.
I hear that. Yeah, that's what they say. And I wouldn't even know a first person from third. Is Call of Duty's first person, right?
It's just like when you from your perspective.
Yeah. Okay. See, I'm like an amateur gamer. I played golf before.
Also, I went to the Oshawa Generals conference final game 5 last night against the North Bay Battalion. My first OHL game, my first junior hockey game. Crazy atmosphere for only 6,000 people in that arena. It was nuts.
Powerade, right?
No, in Oshawa.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. That's very, very cool. Very
my
cool.
brother has a buddy who's a marketing director, I believe, of the Gens. So
Loud House,
very loud, and people there are nuts. Like,
it's junior. It's you know
they're just kids. Sometimes you gotta chill.
Oh, okay. That's what else has Oshawa got though?
That's true. No, but even
collar
like
town.
the North Bay fans, we were like right beside basically a whole section of them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, that's junior hockey. That's what makes the sport of hockey so great in our country.
We got to see Serge's nephew, Zach Sandu, in person.
That's good. He's a big boy, isn't he?
Had a few big hits in the first period.
Oh, he likes to hit people. I've heard that. What was your prognosis? I think he will get drafted.
He should.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He should. Yeah, but I think he's
good skater.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Very good skater. I love the way he skates.
Mover.
Yeah. And a good size. And I think he'll go back and play at 19.
I think
he's
so.
Yeah, it'd be better that he's do that. We got to have him on.
I would love to have him on.
We're going to have to shout out and going to say, Zach, get your ass on the house that happens. So we're big supporters of the Oshawa Generals. It's only 1-0. Long way to go. Is this the first game tonight?
No, that was game 5
already.
So it's they're up 3-2 in the series. Oshawa actually won the first 3 games.
Oh, now what are they going to go back to?
They're back to North Bay. I don't know if the game's today or tomorrow.
Good.
And I believe game 7 is Monday in Oshawa.
If it goes to game 7.
Yeah.
Okay, and that means that, yes, let's do the knocking. And that means that London, I think, is raising their hair up on the other side.
Yeah,
correct?
they're playing Saginaw. Saginaw's hosting the Memorial Cup, but London, last I saw, they were up 3-1 in that series. So.
That's what's weird. I get it and I don't. So that means Saginaw don't even give a shit if they win because they're going to go to the show anyway, right?
Well, I mean, they made it this far, so I think that you still want to win.
I think so, too, man. I don't want to go in as, looking like the back door. It was a couple years ago. Was it Halifax or one of those teams come in the back door and they look good and they got bitch slapped right off. You knew it. But I like the idea of getting the opportunity to host that you should be in.
Yeah, and shout out to Steven and Chris, who I saw the game with. Grabbed some grub before.
Cool.
And, how was your week?
My week was pretty darn good. I just want to say that I've been working out ferociously, doing 100 pitches and throwing and swinging the ball and letting my dog go and chase it because we will have our first game of the season on Tuesday night.
San Fran Sluggers.
The San Fran Sluggers. I heard we got the jerseys together. The rest of the guys are apparently having a little practice right now at Aaron Mills. They know that I've been working out. I'm just telling everybody on the team, let's not worry about how good we're going to be to start as long as we're giving a serious effort, correct?
Yeah, how many teams in the league? Do you know?
I don't know. Probably 10 teams.
How many
of
make
guys
the playoffs?
I have no idea yet. I think
send me the details for the first game. I'll try and make it out.
Okay, well, it's Tuesday night at somewhere in Brampton.
That really
I will get the
down.
name. I will get the name of the I've already been there. I'm actually registered again as a slow pitch player, which I haven't been registered in over 10 years. I wonder if it'd come up again because I know you got to sign in for insurance and all that stuff. So it should be pretty good. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that first game of the season. I'll probably do a little workout today before my wife and I, because I got to have full disclosure here. I probably not see the Leaf game live because we are going to a show.
How dare you?
I'm not.
I will be watching it live.
I know everybody else will. We'll be downtown. It'll probably be pretty crazy, but we're going to go see Kansas. One other things I want to shout out because we continually talk about these things on a regular basis.
Hold on, the Kansas?
Yeah, Kansas, the band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we got tickets for them, but I think it's only half of the guys.
Still.
Oh, yeah, well, I know. I checked who the guys that replace the original guys that are coming out, like the guitar player and the keyboard player. These guys are A-list. I think Steve Morris is playing the guitar. Don't quote me on it, but they're 2 A-list players. I know the Kansas catalog. I seen Kansas when I was young. And Gail and I are trying to decide who was the one that decided on these tickets. And I said, who cares now? It's at Massey Hall, Kansas. I'm just wondering what they're then the show starts at 7.
Right before game time.
Yes, it is, and I think it'll be over by 9:30, so I think we can jump
catch the third.
And catch the third. We'll be able to do something like that, which will be pretty cool. You know what I mean?
Yep. So we will take this.
Hold on, we got one more little shout out I'd like to shout out to, and that's to our girl of the year so far. Is competing with probably not quite on a Taylor Swift level, but Caitlin Clark made the cover of Slam magazine.
Congratulations.
That's people don't understand. If you're in the basketball world, Slam is the Holy Grail of that.
I don't know. No one reads magazines anymore. But
I used to, and I still do, and I want to buy them, and I'm thinking it's dead. I got a magazine, look, right under my microphone, Lindy Sports Baseball. But I think it's very damn cool. And once upon a time, these kind of honors were they were on the news. You know what I mean? People would say something about it. But like you say, the magazine industry is going out the window right behind the newspapers, which is one day is going to be, who are you going to believe? You and I. We'll be the only ones telling the truth.
There we go.
Right? And it's not even going to be written down. But big
Trust
shout
the
out
house that happens. We should put that in a T-shirt.
Yes, it's coming. It's coming. To Caitlin Clark and a WNBA season that's starting pretty damn soon, isn't it?
Right around the corner. I think right after the NBA finishes up, they basically start up.
Yep. Yep.
They're doing a game in Edmonton this summer too, which is pretty cool. We will take this to one of my favorites, quickly becoming one of your favorites, Formula One.
Yes.
Of course, it's the Miami Grand Prix. Ferrari, a little less blue on their car than we thought, which is okay. I'm still not a big fan of it. But Max Verstappen on pole at the sprint race.
Again.
We are currently watching the sprint as it goes on, but should be shaping up to be a good weekend. Ferrari looks like they're doing okay. McLaren looked like they were going to be pretty good, but then all of a sudden in SQ3, they kind of let it slip away.
And who just went off the track to give us a safety? Was it Lando again?
Mr. Lando Norris.
Second week in a row, right? Same move, or was it the other McLaren guy?
I don't know about him sometimes. I want to like Lando, but like sometimes it's like, ugh.
I want to like him too, but I mean that's his fault. I think this is going to turn into driver error when we do see the replay. One thing, once again, I like about this track, and I liked it about China instead of the other ones that I watched a little bit more last year, paid attention to, is the fact that you got some open spaces to just let your car rip, especially coming out of a couple of those weird.
It's
chicanes.
got some tight spots though.
Yeah, I like the tight spots because as soon as I like when you come out of the tight spots, you got a chance to just roar. That's what makes it for me, you know what I mean? And you'd have to be handling your car pretty well to go up and down on that turn, which, gives you that, I guess you would call it the skill of the driver, or what kind of thing. I heard Ricardo made some noise in Q3.
Yeah,
moving
he qualified
up
fifth.
which is pretty good.
It looks like he's on track to get his first points here at the sprint, which good for him.
I want to understand this now. When are they going to have qualifying for the race tomorrow? Is that already done?
That's going to be this afternoon.
So
2 or 3 o'clock, I believe.
So they bring these cars
4
up.
maybe.
So what's going to happen to Lando now that he smacked this car up? They get another car? Don't they have another car? Don't they always bring another
but depending on how much damage, they could probably just fix it in time.
Yeah, it's like Lego, right?
It's sort of like Lego.
Everything's like Lego.
Complex Lego.
Very,
hockey teams are like
very,
Lego. F1 cars are like Lego.
I shouldn't say it like that.
That should be another T-shirt. Everything is Lego.
Everything is Lego. Yeah, maybe that's the name of this show. Everything is Lego. But you know what I mean? I watched some more and how even they take the tires off, they take a wing off, they take off or move something underneath. And you see it, and it's like they unclamp and they put it on. What blows me away, which is just the training of the crew, which can't be understated, is how fast they do this shit at times. You know what I mean?
It's a well-oiled machine.
Oh, damn right. And how much time do you have sometimes like that? 3 seconds in the pit could be 3 seconds on your race.
Well, I mean,
which is crazy. And that's every race, but
I kind of wish it was more of like a NASCAR style where it was only like one guy per tire. Because in F1, it's like 3 guys per wheel, basically.
But you see how quickly they do it?
Sure. But I don't know. I think with less people, you kind of it leaves some more room for human error, which I think would be a lot more interesting. I like that NASCAR. I think IndyCar does it like that too, which I appreciate.
Okay, but I'm gonna give him a small pushback on that. I think that these guys are so elitist that let's bring out the 3 guys. They can afford it.
Oh, 100%. That's why.
That's how I'm thinking about it. I'm going, well, now that we're here, because the level is much, much higher. Another little thing I wanted to note here, because we won't be to the race tomorrow, and we know the usual suspects are up there. But as I've been saying, one of the things that weirds me out about this whole thing is, and it gets everywhere and anything at any time, is unnecessary drama or forced drama, or here's the drama we're going to deal with today. And what's Red Bull's guy's name? Mr. Newey?
Adrian Newey.
Adrian Newey had his little press conference yesterday, and he said everything and he said nothing. You know what I'm saying? But basically, when you say Mr. Newey, you say Lewis Hamilton, you say a year away from the car engineering changes, blah, 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 blah. What do you think is going to happen here?
It's looking like he's going to Ferrari.
That's what I mean.
I thought there was a chance he'd go to Aston Martin, but it doesn't even look like.
No, this looks like a closed deal. I mean, especially when you say I'm going to spend more time with my daughters on some cruises, and he goes, and you wake up one day and you realize I'm not doing that anymore. You get that pull, and I went, pull right where? Ferrari
to the red.
Yeah, That's what I
to
thought.
Maranello,
which makes it an interesting prospect because, like I said, one of the things that blows my mind is these guys are competing. When they go out there, these guys are like serious competitors. Let's not underestimate that.
Absolutely.
However, the teams that they're going to shift to right next year that they'll be going opposite against weirds me out, bro. I'm just saying
that's F1.
That's what I'm saying. That's the part of the thing that you got to get accustomed to, I guess. That's what they're saying.
Like Kevin Durant going to his biggest rival. That happens every year in F1.
Oh, yeah, exactly. But they don't play against each other the year before. Or they're not.
Well, you play against each other every race.
Agreed, but you don't know. Like, okay, like Durant right now, like say he's playing, he goes, okay, I'm going to be on your team next year in the playoffs. Nah, that doesn't happen there.
Okay, well, like how early in advance? Yeah.
Yeah, this is that's what weirds me out the most. But anyways, I'm just saying again because I talked to a friend. We should know Jody Levoy, who loves his F1, and we were just saying, and who else mentioned this to me? Maybe Glenn Kramer or somebody on the line said something along the lines is, I don't see how this can get boring if Max Verstappen keeps on winning, because why? You don't like greatness?
I mean, it's just like...
people are saying that. It could be this season could get
I can
like
see why people are a little bit like, come on.
Yeah, no, I'm going, look, I hope he wins 100 races in a row and sticks it in everyone's ass. That's why he's the villain. That's why you look at the guy. Wouldn't you like to just smack that smug look off his face? Did you hear him yesterday when they were talking about, Max, what do you think about you? I like winning. I like being at the top. I like kicking ass.
Of course.
I go, what, like, girl, you ask him a question. What's he going to say next? I don't know. I'm not going to go there. But I think that times when we're in the middle of greatness, that we should respect it instead of like kick them when you're up, kick them when you're down kind of theory. And I like I said, I'm still like if we were going to talk about the school of F1, I'm probably in about grade 3 right now of going to enter middle school. I'm not quite ready to get there, okay? But understanding what goes on here and seeing how it's evolved, especially when I think it was Mr. Ed Sheeran or someone said, the Drive to Survive or whatever it is, he goes, your indoctrination into this and how it continues on today because those characters are all continuing to race, makes you go, this Max Verstappen guy is greatness. You know what I mean? Pure greatness. And I respect that. You know what I mean? Like I'm not saying he's a Gretzky, but he could be a Gretzky, could be a Jordan. Yeah. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. He's
well on his way to 4 in a row, which only 3-4 drivers
ever have done. Yeah. So now he's already going to be in that pantheon already. I mean, he's got a long way to go to catch the super greats. But I mean, if
he wins this year, he's only 3 behind Hamilton and Schumacher.
There you go.
He's halfway.
That's what I'm saying.
More than halfway.
And he's only, 28?
Yeah, much younger than...
younger, so it's...
I think he's younger than 28, actually.
Maybe he's only 26 or something.
27 or something, yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty young. Anyways, my thing is that, and Zachary Lee, that's what I'm saying, Dad, I can't believe you even know anything about racing cars, is that when you're looking for the highest level of competition, and someone's...
my God, they both went off.
That was kind of neat. If you have the highest level of competition and someone is able to dominate them, then you get to have conversations like GOAT and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that Max is ready there already, but there's just something about the guy that I see when he retires, he's going to be a villain in a James Bond movie.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
We'll keep this moving on to PWHL Toronto clinching the number 1 seed in the league. So big congratulations to them. They'll get to choose their first round opponent.
That's good for Toronto. All Toronto wins are good Toronto wins.
Absolutely.
Did you hear that, Leafs? But anyways.
First playoff game, May 8th, 7 p.m. at Coca-Cola Coliseum.
And they'll end up playing Minnesota, correct?
Minnesota or Ottawa. Or it could be Boston, because I think Ottawa and Boston are battling for the number 4 seed.
It's pretty close, I know that. I think the scheduling is kind of weird. Like I said, I got a little how it ran into the World Championships, which they got to play, and then how they had those couple games into playoffs. It's kind of a weird schedule.
It's like 5 games back. You play everybody once. I think that's a solid way to do it.
It just you put it into my brain. It's going to be this way because of the international event that happens every year, so to speak. But I'm glad that they're getting their games in and around the playoffs now. Don't they have a game this weekend? And the NHL is just kind of chilled out a bit. It.
And then playoffs for PWHL, it's going to be best of 5 series. So obviously 2 semifinals and then the final.
Where do you think the final will be? Do you think they'd upgrade the venue just to see if the girls can pull it off?
I think it's all going to be based on attendance for those 2 or 3 games, right? If they sell out, no problem. Then maybe it's time to look at Scotiabank.
I think they're going to sell out here in Toronto. Like for the playoff game, I'm pretty sure the support's there. But it would be nice if it went up a level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I'm trying to think Coca-Cola Coliseum, that's 10,000 maybe it seats.
Is that how many is there? Is that where they're playing now?
Well, they play at Ryerson, but for the playoff games, they're going to be at Coca-Cola.
That's right. So is it that many?
I think it's 10,000.
Wow.
I believe it.
Who else plays there on a regular basis?
Just the Marlies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And they don't get that many there, do they? They're
lucky to get 10,000.
No, their attendance is almost 6, so isn't that average attendance?
Probably. That would make sense.
For a minor league team, getting 6,000 a night, you know what I mean?
You take it.
And not only that, we were talking about junior hockey earlier, like any of those cities like Peterborough.
Okay, so it's 8,000 for hockey.
Okay, I thought, that sounded kind of high to me. But yeah, that's where the game's going to be. If they sell that out, that would be really cool.
I think they will.
Me
Playoffs?
too. Playoffs?
Come on.
I think that maybe I should think about it. If I don't get there this year, I'll get there next year.
I think the tickets go on sale tomorrow.
What's the average price for a ducket there?
I don't even know.
$40?
I didn't even see because the moment they went out, they immediately sold out. So I didn't even bother checking. And when they had the game at Scotiabank, I think I can't remember if I was in Buffalo or Pittsburgh that weekend.
Yeah, you were. You were somewhere. But I've never thought about what's the price of the tickets.
Can't be that bad.
No, but you know what I mean. That makes it a good value for your money. You're getting a good game. You know what I'm saying? So if you're going in, there's going to be a lot of people out in Leaf Nation tonight, out on the street watching the game, because a lot of people can't afford the money to fly down to Boston tonight, so to speak. You know what I mean? But
might be cheaper than watching a game here.
Oh, yeah, probably is when you come
flight.
to think about it. And thinking about the other team, not only the PWHL, but we should have showed out to the Toronto Rock. Aren't they starting their playoffs too?
Yeah, but they play in Hamilton now.
Okay, so they're
the Toronto Rock of Hamilton.
That's what I was going to say. So the reason that we're not giving them the maybe props that they should is because someone out there in the Hammer should give them the time, right?
Absolutely.
They're playing at Cops too, aren't they?
Yeah, or whatever they call it. Now, was it First Ontario Center or whatever?
Well, I'll always know it as Cops.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean. And it
shout out 1991 Canada Cup.
There you go. And they've been trying to get a NHL team ever since. That was a classic game. Hamilton got away with having a classic game at the time. So, yeah, we will give it to them.
Good for Hamilton. We will take this from one Toronto squad to another. Toronto FC sitting fourth in the Eastern Conference after a little bit of a worrying first 9 games or so, but 16 points, fourth on the table, 5 back of Inter Miami for first in the East, and they played today, 7:30, against FC Dallas at home. At
home here, right? We should get that win. Now, you know what I was watching the scoreboard a bit is that the teams in front of them did play a couple of more games, and they have got the wins.
Inter Miami's the only team ahead of them with more games played.
Okay.
Everyone else, most of the other teams are with 10. But there's some teams behind them with 9 games, so it's still a lot to settle here in the MLS.
So now they just made a move for another player from down in the plays in one of the South American leagues, doesn't he? I think a Haitian guy or someone from Ecuador, but I'm just saying they said they're going to strengthen up the back end, because one of the things we have to ask ourselves 10 games in a 32-game schedule, or 36, that means a third way through the season, are the Toronto FC a pretender or a contender? Is the question. I'm going pretender.
Already.
Well, because when I watch these soccer teams and they start moving guys in, now, okay, maybe we'll get at the 20-game point, but you know what? It seems like every game Toronto's readjusting their lineup. I don't know what they're searching for. Where's those teams at the top, like New England or whatever?
Maybe Herdman's just trying to figure out what he's got still.
Point well taken. But the other teams already know what they got because they're racing ahead. And you know what? Once you wins now or wins later. You got to take the wins when you can get them, right? So I hope they do win tonight. We're going to keep our eye on them. But I'm saying that the way that things went last year and the way that it seems like every time on the thing on the bottom, they're doing something for a player, which is probably correct. I'll give you what you're saying. They're not sure where they are, looking for the final lineup. They got 20 games to go.
I think they can be pretenders. Why not? Or they can be contenders, excuse me.
Well, you know what? We'll check back in at the 30 game. Good luck tonight. You know what I mean? And you know what's really weird? I wonder what it's like for the what kind of attendance they're going to get tonight with the situation in Toronto the way that it is. I always wonder about that because, come on, we know you know what I mean? How you doing, Toronto?
I know the big deal is that Carlo Koliakovo is going to the game, and he put out something to MLSE. He's like, come on, let's move the game time. Just move it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah, I've heard people say that, too, which is, great about your city. You know what I mean? When a team has that much clout. So, good luck. And the season tickets, go down there and show the games, at 6, though, right?
7:30.
Oh. I bet you the attendance is not going to be pass the eye test.
Especially against FC Dallas, who's no...
there you go.
Yeah.
Nothing to worry about. Good luck tonight, guys.
Not much nice to say about Dallas, so I'll leave it at that. We will take this into the NFL. So obviously, off-season in full swing, basically. Chase Claypool signing with Buffalo. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh, that's a pretty good signing for Josh Allen. That guy can still play. Is he even 30 years old?
No.
Then he's
He
good.
was a rookie like a few years ago.
Yeah, so maybe because Buffalo is doing all kinds of things to pump up their
Offense?
Yeah, especially their wide receivers because they did lose Diggs and Gabe Davis, so they got around and they did draft a wide receiver, I think, in the first and second round. I'm not sure. But the reason we wanted to do the aftermath of the draft is sometime when we were off the air, we came across an interesting graphic that just tells you there is no such thing as a mock draft expert.
Well, apparently the teams are failing at it too. That's the
okay. That's what I'm
thing.
saying. So that's why I've been hammering on the point that I am now a mock draft expert because I picked the first 5 this year. I was dead on. I was really surprised with pick number 8. But the thing is about it is when we seen this graph is
I think everyone was thrown off by pick number 8.
Oh, we still are. And you know what? And we're not going to talk about it because look at Kurt. You got your $100 million. So like whatever's said and done, and they're looking for the future quarterback and blah 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 blah. I don't. This little bit of a kerfuffle about if Kurt Cousins' feelings are kind of stepped on or they could have done more for the team this year. Buddy, you got $100 million.
Sure.
You got no attachment to the team. You coming off an Achilles injury. We don't even know how good you're going to run. However, this makes for if he suddenly has a couple 3 bad games and this kid's on the bench throwing darts around, you build in drama.
Yeah, or if he is having a really good season, it's like, well, you probably could have gotten him a weapon there that he could have worked with, right?
If
it's the Aaron Rodgers Green Bay problem.
Okay, but if look at Green Bay's laughing now, aren't they?
Now they are.
Okay, so that's a gamble you got to take. And if you hear the spin that the general manager, coach put on the drafting of this guy, it just made me giggle. But what we want to do is a little bit of a draft aftermath because we looked at that chart that was saying how much of a failure
first round picks have been.
Yes, it's outrageous. So what I did was
and we should say what defines a success or failure here is whether or not they signed a second contract
with the same team.
Yes.
With the same team that drafted them. That says it's a successful draft choice. Well, what I did was I just decided to go back a few years and pick out random names. Some of them you have heard, some you haven't heard, and just say, did these people make a correct assumption when they took a draft choice? Now, I'm going to exclude the Jeff Okuda take on the Detroit Lions at first year, taking him at number 7. A guy who's now just got signed to his 4th team. Okay, the new Detroit Lions. Like, what could we have done with that pick? The highest safety pick ever. Nobody was ever picked higher than this guy in the history of the game. Now, that was our old management before Hughes and MCDC showed up, so to speak. You know what I mean? But he was picked 7th overall. According to our graph there, what's cornerbacks? They're one of the worst.
Yes, they are in the bottom 5, 38% hit rate.
38% hit rate. Okay, the one that
27 hits, 44 misses.
Okay, so now that's just in the last how many drafts it is, I forget. But let's just discuss the number 1 loser pick of position players is, drum roll please. Can we use Diva as an example?
Oh no.
Okay, the number 1 worst hit you're going to make is wide receivers.
That's true.
Wide receivers.
21 hits, 56 misses.
So I heard this, and I'm going to believe it too. Now there is always going to be, what would you say, exceptions to the rule with the,
always.
Oh, you know what I mean. And sometimes the guys that like what's fascinating to me when you're talking about wide receivers this way, 5 wide receivers are picked before Justin Jefferson. I want to go back and pick them out who they are, but come on, what were you doing? That's like the guy that gave up assets to get Mitchell Trubisky, and Mahomes got picked at 10. Will he ever get a job
biggest swindle
again?
of all time.
Oh, you got conned. I don't know what happens there, but you know what I mean? It's every team, and it's like, should you pick for need? It becomes, did you pick for need? Did you pick for...
Which the NFL is very much a pick for need draft.
Except when it comes to quarterbacks, which is insane, which brings me to my first thing.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
Okay, so let's just go back 4 years, and how would you like to be as your first-round pick is Jameis Winston or... Mariota, what's his name?
Marcus Mariota.
Marcus Mariota. What are they both doing? They are still in the league. They got backups.
Winston's still getting starts somehow.
Okay, but he's got tools. He just sometimes thinks that he's greater
between the ears.
There you go. And Mariota, when I looked at him, I said no. So there's a whole scrap pile of those guys sitting out there we're talking about. But I'm just talking about a few guys like you just like at any position at any time. For example, let's go back to say. You remember Eli Apple?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so what did he do? Did he get another contract? No. He was drafted in 2016, 2017 by the New York Giants, and he's played for, what, 4 teams then? And I think he's out of the league because he's a free agent. You know what that means, a free agent in 2024? That means you don't have a job.
Yeah.
So that's what. This guy's drafted in 2017 and got 6 seasons in and he's done. Okay, what if you're San Francisco and you go, listen, we need a defensive end. So let's pick Solomon Thomas at number 3 overall. You know who Solomon Thomas is?
No.
He's not even in the league anymore. So that's what I'm saying for mock draft experts who put Solomon Thomas at number 3. Now, there's a lot of variables that make up whether or not a guy's going to make it into the NFL or not, including handling first money, the team that drafted you putting you in the wrong scheme, a new girlfriend. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff that could deter a young man's progression as a professional football player. However, when we're going to say, so what is a success? So let's just go Marcus Davenport, pick number 2014. No, pick number 14 in the year 2020 draft. You know why I picked him? Because the Detroit Lions just picked him up as a free agent. We gave him $6.5 million because he's a corner that looks like he's pretty good. Then I checked his track record. Oh, he went to the Saints, went to the Colts. This is his 3rd team. He's got injury issues, and nobody ever gave him an extra contract. How do you think I'm feeling about this guy now that I've got a little bit of research on him? I was excited because we need the corner, right?
You don't think he could be fixed by MCDC?
Maybe he will be. That's what you got to say. But obviously, he's fighting to keep his job, right? Okay, here's the one that really intrigues me. Okay, and we all know this guy. That's that Farrell guy, Selin Farrell, who played last year with Washington. Remember San Francisco picked him up?
Oh, yeah.
From after the Raiders drafted him. But the Raiders didn't want to give him the second contract, so they traded him for a draft pick before they had to pick up his option.
Right.
And once San Francisco picked him up, they didn't have to accept his option. They just took him for the rest of the year. So that Washington gave him a contract. So here's a guy just a few years ago, number 4 pick overall by San Francisco, didn't get a second contract, but somehow got picked up as a free agent 2 years later with Washington for some good money. You know what I mean? Like $20 million guaranteed or whatever. So once again, is that good for the Raiders? Number 4 pick. The Raiders haven't been. Could they use a better pick? What the Raiders get out of that? They got a couple second-round picks, which makes me say the one that made me the craziest, and I'll never understand, is once again my beloved Detroit Lions. We drafted T.J. Hawkinson, number 8 overall. Okay.
That ended up being a good pick.
Okay, so what did we trade him to? We traded him to the Vikings for a 2nd and a 3rd. Okay, now we got lucky because the 2nd-round pick was Sam Laporta.
I was going to say.
Okay, so we got lucky. But, I mean, what's the odds of that happening? This is just insane. So now, what we have not only that, we optioned before we got to him. We may have a wide receiver that is better. But Hawkinson is still a young guy playing in our own division.
Sure. I was surprised you guys traded him in the division, to be honest.
I was shocked. That's what I'm saying. So my whole thing before we leave is, like, I'm a mock draft expert. Every year it comes to the draft and it comes to April, I'm going to start spouting off here in the house that happened. Hi, my name is Cruz and I'm a mock draft expert. Why? Because I didn't pick Solomon Thomas 4th overall. Where is he now? You know what I mean? I didn't pick Johnny Manziel in the 1st round. Come on, you know what I mean?
Jerry Jones had to be restrained to not pick Johnny Manziel in the 1st round, allegedly.
Who picked 4 wide receivers before Justin Jefferson? What was you mock draft expert?
That's not mock draft. Those are just like draft experts, quote unquote.
I am now a mock draft expert. You see my name, I'm going to get cards made up.
That's fine.
You know what I mean? Have gun, will travel. Mock draft expert, Cruz. Okay, come on. That my whole point is the aftermath of the draft is it should be very good because we get to see where these guys develop very quickly in the next few years. You know what I mean? And it even goes back if you look at the Mahomes draft, how crafty guys are. Kansas City was looking at him, so is Denver. I mean New Orleans. Sean Payton. What if he had gotten his hands on Patrick Mahomes? But backdoored later. But first of all, who wasn't smart enough to realize he was like better than the 9 guys that were in front of him? Come on, like this guy could turn out to be the greatest football player of all time. However, don't ever say that you can't be someone that can beat the system when the mock draft expert in San Francisco picked Brock Purdy last.
That's, again, not mock draft expert. That's just the actual draft.
Do you know what they say when was it you were telling me off air, wasn't it? Like after you picked the first 2 rounds or someone saying 3rd to 7th round, They say a lot of times is like, who's your information? You know, somebody personally. Does the guy fit your scheme? That's really a shot in the dark, which means you better have great coaching, because the number of 3rd and 4th round picks that have made it in the NFL over the years, there's a bag load of them. They just were like, oh, you went to Rice, so this guy you didn't get on a national scale as much. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So
scouting.
Yes, and who knows who, and the connection, and blah blah blah, and who follows who. So Caleb Williams, according to Louis Riddick, who you got to trust, said he looked like Patrick Mahomes light to him, and he was the first guy back in the day, and I remember years ago said, if you don't take this guy first overall, you haven't been watching. So I'll say Louis Riddick is a mock draft expert because he said number 1.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's our football talk.
Yeah, if you like this kind of thing, Urinating Tree on YouTube, he does like 5 years after the fact, he'll do like a revisiting the draft. So he just came out with this.
So much fun.
So he just came out with this 2019 one, which is cool to look back on. More hits than misses, if I recall, in that one. But
oh, yeah, there was. At 19, I noticed that. What was this guy's name again?
Urinating Tree.
Urinating Tree.
Yeah.
Like urinating?
Yeah.
I love that.
He's a Pittsburgh guy.
Oh, okay, that's
so
good.
Steelers number 1, a big Penguins guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a lot of mostly football and hockey videos that he does.
Okay,
some baseball stuff, a little bit of basketball, but
I'll look him up and give him a shout out.
Absolutely, and we will take this to our beloved yet struggling Toronto Blue Jays.
Oh, buddy. Okay, look what we had to go through last night. My new favorite Blue Jay. You know who he is. He comes from the land of the rising sun. You know my boy, Kikuchi, okay?
You say.
Oh, you say. Pitched 6 innings again. 7 straight starts, 6 innings, and what did they give the guy? A kick in the face? Here's what happened.
Oh, the bullpen blew it.
Oh, you know what? Maybe Swanson should still be down in the minors. What has this guy done since he's been back? We were rolling along with a bullpen that was okay, and we got Swanson and Romano back. We should have been up next level, shouldn't we? What has Swanson done since he's been back? Wet the bed more than twice?
18.0 ERA, a whip of 2.8.
Oh, you're killing me. I looked at
5 innings, only 3 strikeouts.
Oh, punch me harder.
3 home runs in those 5 innings.
Oh, and by the way, okay, here's another thing that we have to discuss about our beloved Blue Jays that just makes me absolutely crazy.
And an 0-2 record.
Okay, yeah, you got that. There we go. Bottom line is, when you look at, we're in really big trouble for beginning of May. We already are, and there's
win 20 before you lose 20. We're 15-18.
There you go. So we're going on that. Oh, by the way, let's just look in the American League East. Have you looked at the American League? No, American League. Period. So we're not going to talk about the division because there's no way we will catch a Baltimore. Let's cut to the chase now. Sorry, Toronto fans. I hate to be that depressing unless we get on a 10-game winning streak like the Minnesota Twins, but we'll get back to that in a minute.
Could happen, but.
So, anyways, if you look what's going on, we're 3 games under 500. Let's go to the American League East. We got 3 teams ahead of us that are over 3 games over, including the
technically 4 teams because the Rays have the tiebreaker over us.
Okay, so that doesn't matter. They're under 500 too. I'm just talking about the teams that are over 500 that presently we're going to have to deal with, including the Boston Red Sox, who surprisingly have the number 1 ERA in Major League Baseball. That's something you can hang your hat on.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Let's just start with that. So they're going to be there, right? So now let's look around the league. So that's Baltimore, New York, and Boston. Okay, and by the way, somehow the Yankees, who are supposed to have weak pitching, have the number 2. No, it's fallen down. They were in the top 5, but I don't think they might falling down because they got shelled by Baltimore this week. But they're still a top 10 ERA team.
Still, though, 119 runs against in 34 games. It's nothing to sneeze at.
Was that talk about the Yankees?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you know what I mean? And it's just lately because they got shelled by Baltimore. Remember, look at the scores the other night, the 7-2 game.
They got the bullpen, too.
Yeah, which seems to be holding them up. But my issue is this with the bullpen. Okay, that's just those 3. Now, if we go out west, you got Texas, and Houston might make a comeback, but I don't think they're doing. The pitching's too late. So the only one that's
they lost 20 before they won 20.
There you go. And not only that, I think the only team that looks like they're going to rise up out of there is Texas. Who else in the west do you really think? Trout's injured
but like
again.
Seattle's half a game ahead of them. Oakland is still hanging in there, too.
Oh, okay. Don't take away my punchline. Okay, don't take away
my punchline. They just won their last 5 games.
Don't take away my punchline. This is what I'm going to go. So now we got, Seattle. I forgot about them, who maybe have the best rotation in the American League.
Agreed.
Okay, so they might have the best rotation. So now the Toronto Blue Jays, who want to make it to the wild card at least as we go into June.
How about a division series?
Okay.
I missed that.
Okay, so now we're talking markets, teams. This was going to be my punchline. So we've got the American League. Oh, I haven't even mentioned, by the way, AL Central. Minnesota just won 10 games in a row. 4 teams that are over 4 games over 500. That's
insane.
Cleveland is looking like a powerhouse. Kansas City's young guys are going. Detroit's got one of the better pitching staff, and they're hitting well. And now Minnesota's won 10 in a row. Oh, and this was my punchline. And we got the same record as the Oakland A's, who have a better record.
They have a better record than us.
Yeah, because of last night.
By one game.
Yes, and not only that, where are they? They've got they're the worst hitting team in the league. But at least they know when to pitch and get some wins. But you're going to tell me we're on one day from Cinco de Mayo? And the Oakland A's are talked about more than we are just because we're that shitty? Come on. Top 3 hitters. Nobody's even got, what, have we got 30 RBIs out of those guys yet?
Oh boy,
and here's the next word we're supposed to be getting. Here's the next word. There's some guy down in Buffalo.
No one's even hit 20 on the Jays yet.
No, no one's even got 20. And the top 3 guys have combined have got what? Maybe 30? 35 at the most?
28.
Ugh. Oh, there we go. Toronto Blue Jays. And we're going to be already talking about...
Vladdy's already at 30 strikeouts, though.
Oh. Okay, so the only metric that we seem to size up in on the plus side of it, if there's 32 teams in the majors, so you want to be on the 16th side.
30 teams in the majors.
So you want to be in the top 15 or top 10. The only metric we seem to measure up to is in defense. Wait, I got more. What defense? Every game we turn it around and we seem to make a mistake. Why? We don't, Bo, you're not hitting, so now you're not giving those plays in the hole or showing up more. If you had a 2-run homer when you didn't get to the hole to get there, I'd say, okay, we're there. Look at last night. Who was playing second base? Somebody who hasn't played enough. Threw Vladdy off the bag, started that insanity. Every game, okay, our outfield defense is good, and I'm glad we got variety.
Sure.
But when we do make a mistake, it's a floodgates open. You know what I mean? It just seems to be like, okay, look at metrics. Well, we're here. But the 2 metrics that I'm always saying, when we make an error, it's not if you make an error, it's when you make an error. And why does everyone give up so many dingers?
Let's cut to the chase here, though. Should we blow this up?
I don't know yet.
This core looks starting to look rotten.
Okay, did you hear what Scott Boras has already said?
Oh, no.
Yes. No. He's like the dog that goes to the park that, you know what dogs do? He says go to Toronto's first and give them a sniff because he says he smells that something could happen north of the border. This is May and that piece of shit is already talking about her team. What is it going to do for us? We got a whole season to cheer for these guys? Now, I'm of the firm belief sometimes April can be horrible for any team. Get it out of the way. Let's go. But after our last night's game when we did what?
To Washington.
Oh.
The Nationals.
They're at 500 now, aren't they?
Still.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. So let's just talk about
9-3?
Yeah.
9-3.
And guess what? Kikuchi gave up 1 run.
Check
1 run. He gave and struck out 7.
He was brilliant.
Okay, there you go. So we bring in
him and Barrios have been probably our best players.
April pitcher of the month. Big shout out to Barrios.
Gosman's starting to figure it out.
Oh yeah. Okay, but now this is what I'm saying. If you're gonna believe this, and I really hope it would happen, because it would be kind of like that times that I'm always dreaming about the leprechaun coming up my driveway on the unicorn. You know, I still have belief that could happen. I'm not sure when, but you know, there's a possibility. That's like saying that they have a belief after like 1 good outing, and I need 3 or 4 before I'd even let the boy on the mound is. There's whispers about the Manoah return.
That's something.
Okay. Did you notice I said a whisper?
Yeah.
Why is this guy always in the dugout too? Like, isn't that weird?
That's weird.
Okay, we discussed that. I'm like that's why you're a AAA player right now, buddy. You're a AAA pitcher, so you get to get your ass kissed.
Something's weird.
Because he's close to Buffalo, he can just drive over in his car that he got with his bonus money, so he can stay in his condo more.
Probably can fly him.
What do you? Oh, you weren't gonna fly that far? Buffalo to Toronto is what, an hour's drive at best on a clear highway?
The major leagues, baby.
Okay, I'm gonna say that, but I'm gonna look at. Don't give us any, pull any or change bullshit, because we don't know what Manoah can do, because he had one good start and this is May. If he does 2 or 3 of those starts down in Buffalo, I'm going to say, okay, I'm good with that. But I don't want to bring him up here right away, because it's supposed to be a confidence builder. Let's get to his mental health. Let's get his technique down. Look at him getting in shape. Isn't he a wonderful guy? The fans are going to love him again. And he comes up and he gets raked for 8 in 3 innings. No, I can't see that again. That'll get me to 2 of my most suspect people involved in sports in the Toronto scenes right now, and that's Mr. Aikens and Mr. Shapiro.
Our buddies.
Our buddies, yeah. I noticed that big because every time you bring them up, I usually hear vulgarities if I'm in a bar. And I bring up their names. But what are we going to talk about here? Is the success of the season for the people of Rogers that people are coming down for the new baseball experience? Or do we want to have a winning team? Come on, buddy. You know how I think about that. My baseball experience means winning games and competing for a division, not sitting in a nice seat with a new freaking sight line where the beers have gone up $5 a shot.
Atkins and Shapiro, it's been almost 10 years now with them.
Is it that many?
They got end of 2015 they came in.
Yeah, 16. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
2016 they won a playoff round, but that was kind of like off the
back end of the other guys.
Off of what Anthopoulos did. But their own core, still waiting for that first playoff win.
We haven't got it, have we? No, first series win.
First playoff game win. We've been swept every time.
Oh, yeah, we're doing an imitation of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I forgot.
No, Leafs will take it to Game 7.
Okay, well, now. But I'm saying there was all those years that, teams followed teams. Like, what was your guys' nice run there? 8 years, low playoffs? 6?
7.
Toronto. Didn't bother me at the time. Habs were doing much better. But that's another story. We don't want the Blue Jays to be thought of like that. You know what I mean? Come on. If we're going to do something now, like what happens when we are here? Like, in a month we'll have a better barometer of what's going on. But it's going to get to a point now where look at this lineup and we're going to have to pay some people. Or we're not going to have to pay some people. Okay, and if we do then, what does that do? That puts you further back. And this is where I'm going to say go to hell to those guys. Did you see the big hit in the Dodgers-Braves game last night that changed the tide? Oh, by the way, his name is Teoscar Hernandez. And that's one of the problems with baseball. They don't know what to do with guys like Teoscar Hernandez because they don't want to give him a big long-term contract. But... and his suspect defense, but wouldn't you take him back in our lineup right now to drop him?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. And so the improvement,
or even better, a couple guys in Arizona, but we won't go there.
I'm not. No, I don't. That one stirs anger in me, and I'm not an angry person. What I'm getting at is this: we're here at the House That Happens. Let's just say it. We're sick of the Aikens Shapiro, make money. Experience fans come to the Dome.
I'm sick of this team underperforming.
That's the part that I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So we're going to be in a position soon. We're going to have to make some major decisions. Like, okay, we got Vladdy and Bo all coming up next year, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay, so we were always saying we'd keep Vladdy over Bo, but now we're going to keep Bo. That means we got to keep him as a shortstop. Can we move him over to second base, or do we hurt his ego too? While we're wasting
I don't think he's going to be down for that.
Okay, in any event, we're wasting some pitching here. Like our bullpen was supposed to be the advantage this year, not our starters, because we didn't know the back end. It's a drag we lost.
Our starters have been
okay, but
50,
it's too bad.
52.
That's what I'm saying, which is supposed to be much better. But Gozman's going to be back, so I think the top end's going to be okay. When you think about Barrios, Gozman, and Kikuchi. But I don't know if I drink star man Bassett or what. So I don't want to talk about him too much anymore because the more I talk about him, the worse he looks. See his last start? And he's 35 with no big muscle. Getting that part in his career, there's a lot of those guys, the Charlie Mortons, I don't know, maybe pitch a little longer. You know what I mean? And it took him this long to get here. I think he can straighten it out. But with the no-hitting of this team, that's the biggest problem. Not just the end of it's the no hitting. So everything we just talked about in the last few minutes, we haven't even discussed. These guys can't hit shit. You know what I mean? Like we're averaging 2 point whatever. If we don't score 6 runs this weekend, I think that our average is going to drop to 2. We'll be down now. We'll be in the Oakland area as a hitting team, whereas Oakland's in the middle of the pack as a pitching team.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you look at every team now around the league, Pittsburgh, not Pittsburgh, Philadelphia, who's just moved in with Atlanta, the tie in the first place in their division. What's going on with Chicago and Milwaukee? If you look at what's going on with the Dodgers, and with San Fran is a bit of a failure, I'm thinking, but San Diego's hanging in there.
And the Padres just made a trade today. Luis Arias.
Yes.
They got him from the Marlins.
Yes, that's a good little score, I think. You know what I mean?
Oh, I agree.
I'm like the Marlins are already calling it a season and let that go, or they just not planning on paying the guy.
Probably both.
I'm just saying, it just seems a little weird to me. But anyway, my point being is this. All of these teams have they're in the middle of the pack or the top end. Like the Dodgers, so to speak, I think are in the middle of the ERA deal, but they're top 5 in hitting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And you look at around the teams, the Tigers, top 10 in hitting, top 10 in pitching. That's going to keep you where you are. Minnesota's pitching's coming along. What do the Blue Jays have to offer when we've got a modicum of defense and we're in the bottom 10 of hitting and now pitching? Could be a long season, guy.
Yeah, man.
We've been worried about this since it started. You know what I mean? We've been talking about this starting with last year where we were questioning where it's going to go, and we eked into the playoffs. Now we got basically the same garbage with the big guys that are supposed to hit doing nothing, and Justin Turner, our free agent acquisition, is hitting like a champ. He was just supposed to be a supporting cast member. Agreed? Mm-hmm. Huh. We're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
But we got May. I'm not going to totally pull the wheels off the wagon. But if we get to June 1st and we're 8 games under 500 or something, I'll call Mr. Boris. And I don't like calling him. You know what I'm saying?
Anything else for baseball?
No, just that we should congratulate the Minnesota Twins for being on an 11-game winning streak now. Anytime you win 10 in a row in baseball or more should be commended.
Huge.
Because every day you're doing it. A lot of teams, you think of great teams like the Dodgers, the Yankees and stuff, sometimes their longest streaks are only 11 and 12 in the history of their games. You know what I mean? So 11-game win streak is there. I think we should start turning around. It's like, the Formula One races, they're coming around a corner now and everyone's jockeying for position. Suddenly Philadelphia and their pitching staff is looking like rising up quicker than I thought. Mm-hmm. And what really is irritating about baseball is all we were talking about in the preseason and up until now is like our starting pitcher would be good, and once the bullpen got all back together, we were supposed to have a staff, and we don't.
We don't have a staff.
Okay. I don't know what we're going to say.
Well, moving on from one ball game to another, talking about the NBA playoffs, and I understand that you have some commentary about some of the refereeing that we've been seeing.
Okay, now, I just wanted to look at this thing called the 2-minute report.
L2M.
What is that? What is the point? Okay, let's explain to NBA fans what goes on here, okay? For some reason, they're going to have a little thing where the referees run in and say, hey, this is what we did in the last 2 minutes. So at the end of the Philadelphia game, we were so ridiculous with Tyrese Maxey. We let him get mugged twice. Jalen Brunson steal the ball. Scored 8 points in 45 seconds and stole a game. We were wrong, so we're telling you that we were wrong. What is the point?
The idea was to keep, I guess,
the
refs accountable, but
Vegas in on this? Come on, man. It doesn't work. Imagine this in the NHL.
I'm surprised it's gone on for this long, to be honest.
The original concept sounded like a good idea, but now it's just ridiculous. We're watching the games. You see what's going on. What? And then you see it happening, and then it gets changed. Because what happens is, once again, we're talking about the integrity of the games.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So we haven't even talked about what's going on the game or who's winning or what. We just mentioned the thing that happened in the Philly-New York series. We haven't talked about who's won, who's playing better than ever. What are we talking about? The 2-minute warning and how it affects point spreads in games when the games have been lower. If you've been betting under in the NBA, by the way, you've been making money. Just saying. Not that I noticed that, okay? But, it's I don't know. I think the refereeing has been pretty solid. But when you have that key foul at the wrong time, and then after the game, you got to tell us, hey, man, we fucked this shit up. Why? Why are they doing that? First of all,
weird.
It's beyond me now because now that the legalized gambling, that's the part that I'm starting to say. You got enough people yelling at players going, you better hit this. I got you. I got you for 12. Come on. That's going on in the NBA every night as we speak. We do know that. However, when you got it coming out and saying, hey, we screwed up. What, do you have a buzzer in your pocket? Did it come from Vegas? Hit that buzzer. Call that foul. Oh, hit that buzzer. Don't call that foul. I don't know. But so far, it hasn't. I thought the Knicks were going to beat Philadelphia anyway. Because I think that
You picked Philly to win, though.
What's that?
You picked Philly to win.
I thought they were going to win, but the Knicks are after the second game. I think was last show. I said I made a mistake on that. Because come on, I should have been smarter to just say the Knicks are going to do it.
It's a good effort by Philly, though.
Oh, very good effort. I didn't know Embiid. You know, it was regular season. Embiid wouldn't even have played because he was just too banged up. But big shout out to Tyrese Maxey, who just had an absolutely fabulous series. Good for the New York scene because New York is the mecca of basketball, and all they've done the last few years besides nothing, it's good for basketball that they're on the rise, so to speak. You know what I mean? But there was a couple of times in the Phoenix games where
let's keep it. Let's move it east to west.
Yeah.
So Boston, Miami, Celtics roll.
That was easy. And you know what? One thing I really wanted to yell out. If you guys want to, there's certain people on TV you can watch that really talk about basketball. The guys that get to get a chance to listen to. One is Tim Legler. This guy was saying, this is so true, and I thought about this. I wish we had a show in the middle of the week sometimes. What did Miami do in Game 2 to win?
They just hit threes, didn't they?
23 threes or something absolutely never going to happen again in their history of their life. Nobody's even done this 10 times in the history of playoffs. Okay, so they win one game. So what did you expect to happen when that game was over and they got to the next game?
I mean, I thought they could maybe steal another one.
Not a chance. They were going home, and I'm glad the guy comes on and says, listen, remember people they're called anomalies. That game was there. Didn't prove
nothing. This is a team that made the finals last year, though.
Okay, but that was then. This is now. I don't even know how they did it last year. They didn't have Jimmy Butler. It was over before it was over. The biggest thing I just want to bring up is that I don't know if Boston's really been tested, and they better get smarter about just chucking up threes all the time. Because sometimes when you chase another team down doing that, you get embarrassed of the team like the Heat who makes them. But, not even a series. It should have been 4 straight. As far as I'm concerned.
Milwaukee, Indiana. I think it could have been a much different series, obviously, if Giannis and Dame were fully healthy, but them are the breaks, as it were.
Well, you know what? The problem with that series, and Indiana still...
I thought it'd go 7. Pacers ended up taking it in 6.
Yeah, but you know what? In one of the games, it was just because Dame and Bobby Portis and Nick Beverly caused enough grief that they stole one. That should have been over in 5. Because, first of all, Dame missed a game. Giannis didn't even play. Yep. This is a lucky time for Indiana, and I hope they don't fool themselves because they kept playing that running game and got away with it. Because Milwaukee really didn't have any defense anyway. No. And then when you're playing against the number 1 scoring team in the NBA and you're running up and down the court like that, guess what? I'm surprised it went. Like after the second game, I think we talked about it last week. I said I can't see Minnesota getting out of here, which is going to be another drama because Dame's
Milwaukee,
yeah, because Dame's realized Milwaukee ain't even Portland. What do you do here at night? Eat cheese, man. You're in Milwaukee, but
drive to Chicago.
Yeah, okay, that's what you got to do. But in any event, yeah, that one's there. Too bad for Minnesota because that's a waste of a season. Milwaukee with Damian and what about Doc Rivers? What do you say?
Probably gets one more chance.
From the beginning of the season with a healthy squad?
Yeah.
And a draft pick and free agents? Okay, Doc, we want you around anyway, okay?
I don't know why they would, but so is. Cleveland, Orlando. Told you this one was going 7 games, didn't I?
Yes, you did, and I think that my basketball acumen, I watch so much more basketball than I think that when you watch a lot, but I think I'm just so much more schooled. I don't know what happened with Cleveland. They lost Jared Allen. That's a good call on your part because, what's his name?
And Orlando's a strong home team, too.
Very strong, and when you brought that up, that's on tape. You said remember them at home, but I like the tenacity of their defense in the tight moments. It's been a great series. I've seen every game.
Yeah.
And I think one game Cleveland won by 10, right?
The first few games were pretty
But after that it was everyone was inside like with less than the other thing besides the 2-minute whatever it is they have also the pressure moments and how many they have in the last game. Cleveland and Orlando series, every game has been there. Like that 2-minute thing, like pressure shots, how many shots you take in this situation, blah, blah, blah. Too much analytics, really. But the games have been very close, and I have been surprised, and I'm saying that Orlando now looks to me like this is a team, could be a team of the future, or they could be a Sacramento.
We'll see. Paolo Banchero is a player, though.
Oh, he's great. And I had their names down in the book. My papers were blowing around there. The whole core of that team is under 25.
Yeah.
That's the bottom
Suggs.
line. Yes, all those guys, and they're all bangers, and they're all players. You know, and they came from big schools, like had big situations, so I guess that's why they're playing this well against Cleveland. I still say Cleveland will win it at Game 7 at home.
I think so, too. I'll stick by that.
100%.
Moving it over to the West, OKC versus New Orleans. OKC was just too strong. Took care of that one in 5 games. Pelicans searching for it without Zion. Probably predictable.
Can I say one thing to Stephen A. Smith right now? If you don't know what Brandon Ingram does on and off the courts, why do you make insinuations on national TV?
Maybe he does know.
He didn't say anything, but, you know, like, you know, if you can see what I'm doing right now, so to speak, when we're on the air, don't talk about my boy Brandon Ingram like that. You know what I mean? If he's part of a certain sort of society that you're not, that perhaps Kevin Durant goes down that road and a few other guys around the league, you know what I mean? They all hung with Snoop for a while. Don't be saying that on TV because it just sounds bad. You know what I mean? And I'm the first one to say it because I see Brandon and I go, you know, stoners, no stoners. But you know what I mean? What they had said was, can you trust a guy like this in this series? Brandon Ingram to me is an A-list player. But and Valanciunas helped him out. And what's the other guy they had? Just at that young squad in OKC is they've been building this for 3 or 4 years together. You look at all those guys on that team. They've been playing now 4 or 5 years. Shea's been in the league. What? This is his 5th season or his 4th?
5th, I believe.
It's his 5th season, and all those guys came around. They've been with him now. Even Buddy in the minute Holmgren, this is his 2nd season that he's been.
6th season for Shea, actually.
Okay, there you go.
Because he played that year with the Clippers. Everyone forgets about.
Oh yeah, you completely that good trade there, eh? Okay, but in any event, what I'm saying is that the team's already molded, and we'll discuss this at the end of this little basketball rant to get over there. Is the fact that this should be a good series. I thought that the Pelicans would have put a better showing if they had Zion. It really made it because it was just after a while they just moved away from him. They couldn't compete. It was over. So we don't know if they got tested or not. We're going to see.
Denver, LA Lakers.
One game.
And ended in 5 as I predicted.
Yes, there was no, and I'm being an ass and just saying they got a chance. That was ridiculous on my part. Now I'm going to say this.
I still can't believe you chose the Lakers there.
I thought maybe I was just going to, because it would have looked good if they did it, but I'll never do that again because I was just guessing for LeBron. Part of it is I will say this: those 2 games, Game 1 and Game 2. Where L.A. wilted, I think that's altitude, and they're older. The altitude got them, man, because those were tough games. But it doesn't hurt that you got our Canadian boy, Jamal Murray, making 2 game-winning shots with less than 5 seconds. Both shots were just like, woo!
The way he closed out the series, like I got off my couch and cheered.
Oh, how could you not, man? I mean, we'll discuss it later, but I didn't feel bad that LeBron's going home. I don't feel bad the Lakers are out of there.
No.
They didn't deserve to win. They weren't the better team. They got beat. Go home. Golf. Go practice. You got, we'll get to the other series, but Curry's already on the course waiting for you, so you know what I mean?
And for the Olympics.
And the Olympics, exactly, because we'll get to that next series.
Minnesota, Phoenix. I think Frank Vogel is done like dinner.
I hope he's not. It's not Vogel's fault, but look at what's his name.
He's not that good of a coach, though. I think he's supremely overrated.
Ham's already been fired by the Lakers this morning, by the way.
I saw that, yeah.
He's already gone.
Yesterday the reports were out, yeah.
Well, after what Anthony Davis said at the last press conference, because you know what I mean? Like, coaches can say things to fire up players, but players can't say anything to fire up coaches. You're supposed to keep that in the dressing room, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, some guys will say, oh, I think the player should play like this. They'll call out a player. But when a player calls out a coach, it's like, oh, that's bad for the team.
I think it's a bad look more than anything.
Well, that's what it was. And then when AD's saying, look, sometimes we don't know what we're doing on both ends of the floor. Who's he talking about? He's not talking about me or you, right? You know what I'm saying? Which just automatically leads itself to innuendo and drama, and that's how the NBA runs. But Ham's gone, and I'm saying, like, let's cut to the chase here. Denver's looking like if they can win, they can start the beginning of their dynasty.
Denver,
yeah.
100%.
Oh, you know what I mean? If they win again, that's 2 in a row. They've been around there. I don't know who's going to beat them except for Boston, but we'll wait till we get to the end because neither team. This is just
Denver's winning it again.
I'm not going to go quite there then, but I'm not saying that they're not.
I'm going to go there. Denver's going to win it again. Back to back, baby.
But they got, they start now, they play, it's Minnesota because the way it goes, it's Minnesota and Denver.
Yep. Well, we'll get to that later.
Okay, yeah.
And then last series, Clippers, Dallas. Hurt Clippers just couldn't keep up. What else is new for them? Was over earlier than I thought it would. I thought this one was going 7 for sure, but Mavs wrap it up in 6.
Okay, I did pick the Mavs, didn't I?
I think we both had them in 7.
Yeah, okay. And the thing is that let's talk about a couple things that are going on in this series that I'll never thought would ever happen. Luka playing defense for starters. Luka played defense. Like the guy came out and put pressure on the perimeter. People forget this, okay? What they were saying is, I heard a great analogy about when, what's his name? The Russian fought Dante Wilder. What's the big Russian's name? He got knocked down. He got like the Undertaker. He says, what you do is you just put on 50 pounds, and no matter what you're doing in your boxing, you just lean on the other guy all the time. Mm-hmm. That's what the Joker does to his guys to never play.
Tear him out.
Now Luka is starting to lean on his defenders like I've never seen him do before. Oh, by the way, Stanley's in the house.
Shout out Stanley.
Yeah, Stanley's in the house. It was our worst nightmare, but he's been pretty good so far. In any event, Luka is playing defense, and Kyrie has learned to play off the ball the way he should be with Dallas. Like, look at last night. Kyrie only had 2 points in the first half. By 5 minutes in the fourth quarter, the game was over. You just knew who was going to win. Now, the big thing about the Clippers is, and Steve Ballmer was opening his brand new barn next year, state of the art, like nothing we're ever going to see before, has the tell his fans that I got Kawhi Leonard. I feel bad for Kawhi, man. They even gave his knee an injection, eh? They tried everything he could. He's got degenerative knees. He's good for 60 games. You know what they should do next year? They should just let him play. He tried to get past this load management and the 65 games to get you to play and all that stuff, and he did it. And look what happened. Maybe next year he'll only play 50 games and then save it all for the playoffs. But that can't be said. Move. It can't be said, though, because look at Harden now. Harden's in Karl Malone area. You know what that means, right?
Going to not winning.
And not only that, scoring the most points of all time without ever winning a championship. Karl Malone's number 1, but Harden's chasing him down hard. His name's Harden anyway, right?
Do you see Kyrie doing the foul thing, making fun of Harden, putting the chin up?
Oh, the whole line, yeah. They were all just eating him for breakfast. Now, another thing I want to talk about basketball, about just things that are going on the floor and the 2-minute report and all that. One thing I want to say is that I really appreciate the fact that the referees are ignoring all these guys after the plays that yell at them. That's come down considerably. I don't know if everyone got the memo. I think I mentioned it last week, but I've been watching that very closely. Luka's still the worst. Guy's a pure bitch. He's playing great basketball, some of the best I've ever seen. And like we do say here at the House That Happens, one of the most serious offensive weapons in the NBA. Agreed?
Sure.
Oh, you know what I mean? And he's playing a little D, I'll give him that. But the referees have been looking the other way a bit. You know, like guys just take a shot and they look at the ref. They go into this, they look at the ref. Makes me crazy. However, it has come down like that. Now, we have only one game to go, and it doesn't matter because Cleveland and Orlando will be playing Boston, right?
Yeah.
So what do you say is going to happen there? Depending on the team?
Yeah, I think it depends on the team. If it's Cleveland, I think it's Boston in 6. If it's Orlando, I think it's Boston in 5.
I think that's an interesting way to put it. I'd even take it one step further. Boston just came in and beat Orlando 4 straight. Because in the history of basketball, Orlando's a very young team. And they got in the door. And if they were to beat Cleveland in Cleveland in the Game 7, that's like, oh, my God, that's wad-blowing material. You know what I'm saying?
But Boston has also been known to puke it up a few games.
I think they learned by losing that game because they were so...
But have they? This is year in, year out we see this. I don't know if they have learned.
I can't see them not going to the finals. I can't not seeing them not going to the finals.
I think now, the Knicks can upset them.
Well, that's why, because the problem is now Boston lost Porzingis.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Boston lost Porzingis. Now, that's good. Now, they got True Holiday, and this same team went to the finals last year. Don't forget that. Or they went to the conference finals last year. Don't forget that. But, Porzingis is good because he draws, he makes the defenders come away from the rim, and guys can get the open lanes. That happens a lot. And Porzingis can shoot threes at 7 feet.
So who do you got if whoever, I guess, depending on the matchup?
Boston's going to win. It doesn't matter. They can beat both teams. I think Cleveland can give them a little bit more hard time because they're more veteran. They have more experience in doing this. I think that Orlando would be more like deer in the headlights because they won a thing.
So you think if it's Orlando, it's a sweep?
5 games at the most.
How about Cleveland?
I'm going to say 6 because I think they'll battle for a couple, and it all depends on if Jared Allen is healthy. Like, he's supposed to come back. remember, last 2 games, Jared Allen hasn't played. That would have made a big difference in this series against Orlando. You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see. I'm just saying the experience factor for me.
Yeah, Game 7 tomorrow, by the way.
Oh, I'll
Cleveland,
be
Orlando.
watching that. I love 2 Game 7s tomorrow.
New York Knicks, Indiana Pacers. I'm going to take the Knicks in 5.
No, I think that they're going to run them hard enough that the Knicks will have to learn to adjust. They'll win. I think, and Indiana's tough at home. Tough at home. I can see it go 6.
6 games?
I can see it go.
Oh, you got the Knicks.
I got the Knicks. Oh, yeah, definitely got the Knicks. I'm hoping Knicks go to the finals. It'd be great for basketball. When's the last time? Latrice Sprewell, Tim Hardaway, before you were born? I don't know.
You have Patrick Ewing, 94.
No, but they made the final, but a team after them made it.
Oh, 99.
Yeah, 99.
The lockout year.
Yeah. Remember that? They got in, so to speak. So that's how that worked out. We had Frankie coming in too, but I'm glad he's getting chased away.
Oklahoma City Thunder versus Dallas Mavericks. I'm going to take the Mavs in 6.
To beat OKC?
Yeah.
Wow.
I maybe go 7, but I think OKC's going to have their hands full with Luka and Kyrie.
I do too, and I think in its experience factor too, like, because any given time it gets down to the last 5 minutes of the game and you got Kyrie, he can win it himself. However, you have to have a coming out party sooner or later. And if Shea and the boys beat him, guess what? He's going to be an MVP candidate. I'm going to say because of the defense that OKC can put up, I'm going to take them in 7.
In 7? Okay.
In 7. I'll take OKC.
OKC
However,
in 7,
if Dallas does win, would you be surprised? You're taking them.
Dallas in 6.
In 6. That's hardcore. Don't remember, the Clippers fooled everybody. Paul George was terrible. They had no other secondary scoring. Westbrook was just beyond
But OKC doesn't have the experience, though.
No, but they have that team defense and Shea and Dort and Holmgren.
Dallas can defend, too.
Okay, but they got Holmgren. Who are they going to deal with there?
They got some guys that they could put on him.
Okay, I see. He's going to be the difference maker, and
I thought about that too. That's why I thought about maybe going 7 games. Yeah,
that's the X factor. That's what I'm saying.
And last but certainly not least, a series starting this afternoon, I believe. Denver Nuggets, Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm taking Denver in 6.
What? This is going 7 easily.
Easy
7. No kidding. First of all, you got to remember, the only team that's got size that can bang up to Denver is Minnesota. Not even OKC don't have the size.
Right.
Okay, so they're going to come out with Cat. They're going to come out with Gobert. They got Ant-Man. They got what's his buddy, too, the other big guy on the side. Oh, I forget his name. I should look up their roster right now if I can get up really quick. Anyways, what tells me is that Minnesota is, size-wise, can meet up with them. Their defense is compatible to Denver. If the only team that's going to have a chance to beat Denver is going to be Minnesota's. You know what I mean? So now you have to make a decision. Am I going to be a hypocrite after saying all that about Minnesota after we just said, how can Denver not be starting the new dynasty?
Are you going to make the same mistake 2 rounds in a row?
I don't know. I'm loving Anthony Edwards. And you know what? Remember this is, I mentioned him. Let's go check the tape of this 100th show. Maybe I'll just, because I'm retired now, I'll sit around and just listen to the House That Happens for about 10 shows. I've been champion Anthony Edwards a long time. I used to have been my boy. They're my 3, Shea, Ja, and Anthony Edwards.
Ant-Man.
The Ant-Man. They're my boys. I can't wait till 5 years from now when it's Ja against Ant-Man in the finals. You heard it here first. They're that young. Think about it. In 5 years from now, and when all those guys, well, we'll get to that later.
Well, who do you got?
I don't know.
You got picked.
I say I'm going to have to say I'll take Denver in 7.
Okay.
Because I can't go against them. I think they just got the intangibles.
One last thing before we move off basketball. I am 7 for 7 on my playoff picks so far. I have a nice parlay debating on cashing it out before the Cleveland game tomorrow.
I wish we had some call-ins like the guys on the scoundrel sites, like my boys from Aaron Mills, because they're always doing these type of bets. I'm saying on your side, take the 50.
I'm leaning heavily towards taking it.
Because then you can just do the reboot, right? You do the reboot and you're good. You're in that position. But it would be nice to take it all, if you know what I'm saying.
And another...
Is this the only 7th game we got in this series? We've only got 2 7 games, right?
In the NBA?
Two in the two.
Just one, I believe.
Yeah, just one in the NBA
This is it.
and 2 in the NHL.
Yep.
Okay. Which is
Speaking of the NHL, I am 6 for 6 so far. But before we get to the playoffs, a few quick shout outs. Okay. Number one, happy trails as Jakub Voracek retires. Played with the Philadelphia Flyers and the Columbus Blue Jackets.
What do you say? He had one of those Midland careers?
Oh, he was a solid first-line guy for most of his career.
How many
especially
years?
in Philly.
How many years?
Oh, there was a good 5-year run.
Okay, I'll give him that. What do you play in a year? Do you get 10 years in? 12?
Oh,
more?
10, 12, yeah.
I remember
he's got 1,000 games, I believe.
Oh, he did get 1,000. That's what I was getting at. Did he get 1,000? Now, I'll give it this. For a few years there, he was. Like, you know what I mean? He
Him, Giroux, Hartnell on Philly. That was a great line.
That was a damn good line. Damn good line. A little bit dirty, but a lot of gritty, and they could score.
Very gritty.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But they skated, though. Like, Borchak could skate. They all could skate. You know, so you made it line. I just hate Philadelphia. That's all.
It's too bad that when him, Giroux, Hartnell, when they dyed their beards black for that playoff run in Philly, it didn't get to grow out because they lost in the first round that year. But
there you go.
Yeah.
It was funny to do something like that. I agree. But I hate Philly. So when they lose, I'm glad they're gone. I'm glad they didn't make it this year. Sorry, Torts.
Shout out to Easton Cowan, Leafs prospect, winning OHL's most outstanding player.
Will he start in the lineup next year from out of training camp?
I think they're going to send him back to junior one more year.
Well, it'll be his second year. He'll be 20, won't he?
Yeah.
Then it'd be better to send him to AHL.
You can't.
No?
Nope.
Okay.
That's the rules. If you're whatever, like
if you're under 20 years old, you got to stay in the O, right?
If you're still eligible to play junior, you got to be sent back.
So when do you get to do it? If he plays a few games for the Leafs, then the Leafs can send him down?
Well, even if he gets the 9 games, they'd still have to send him back down to junior. They can't send him to the AHL until he's 21.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I heard something about that the other day.
It's the deal between the OHL and the NHL, basically.
I know, I heard that. So what is it now?
Or CHL in general.
Yeah, that's exactly.
I hear they're thinking about changing that.
So what is it now? So you can't play in the AHL till you're 20, right?
If you played in the CHL, yeah. If you get drafted from Europe, you can go straight over
to AHL, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's what it was. Maybe I'm confused. I'm gonna look that up before the next show. That's what it is.
Either
right?
way, I don't think it's the worst thing. I mean, he can go. He's probably going to be captain Canada next year for the World Juniors if he goes back anyways. So
he was just drafted this year, right?
2023.
2023.
Yeah.
And he went back, and okay, so yeah, he's still gonna be 19. They did the same thing with Marner.
Marner spent Marner was like a lottery kind of guy, so a little bit different circumstances. He spent 1 year back in junior.
And then the next year he just came out and played, right? He started playing when he was 20, right?
19.
He was 19 on the Leafs?
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that.
Either way, good for him. And then Canada announces their first 22 for the men's World Hockey Championships. Okay. Connor Bedard, Michael Bunting, Macklin Celebrini, Dylan Cousins, Adam Fantilli, Ridley Gregg, Dylan Guenther, Andrew Mangiapane, Jack McBain, Jared McCann, Dawson Mercer, Brandon Tanev. On defense, Bowen Byram, Caden Gooley, Jamie Oleksiak, Colton Parayko, Owen Power, Damon Severson, Olin Zellweger. Then in net, Jordan Binnington, Nico Haas, and Joel Hofer. So not a bad squad to get started.
A lot of kids.
I like it.
I do too. I like it too. Owen Power was on there too, right?
Yep.
Owen Power and Gooley.
Power and Gooley, yep.
Okay, that's good. You know,
Jamie Oleksiak, so you got Owen Power and Bowden Byram, pair of young Buffalo defensemen.
That's true, yeah. That should be good. Anytime, you know what? I like when they go over there young. When they're older, like if it's a guy like Sid never has to go again, do anything for Canada if he doesn't want to.
Sure.
You know, and say that, but I like to see the kids. I'm glad Bedard's going over to play. But I think at the same time in his career, didn't Sid go over too for a couple times?
Oh, yeah, he's got a gold medal.
Yeah, he got a gold medal, yeah. So, get it on your mantle. Make it one of your accolades. You know what
Sure.
I mean? Part of your hardware, so to speak. Good luck, guys. They start playing, what, in 10 days?
Pretty soon. It's right around the corner. It's around the time second round is on. So we will move this on to the playoffs. So let's move this. We'll save the best for last.
No, we got to just say this. Hey, Toronto, how you feeling today? Is everything okay?
Everyone's feeling great.
Everyone's feeling good. You're confident, you know? Just remember.
You know why? Screw it. Let's just jump right into it.
What's that?
You know why
Right.
we're feeling confident? Because they're actually playing playoff hockey.
I agree with that. Now, you know what's going to be the greatest thing, win or lose out of this? It's going to be the Mysterios of the Nylander-Matthews transformation for starters. You know what I mean? Because we can talk about the other series in a minute, but how long are we going to talk about the Rangers in Washington? Come on. Washington was going to, how did they even make it in? And they got bitch slapped, go home. Part 2, I thought the Islanders was a little bit more competitive at Carolina, but by the game 3, what were you saying?
Yeah.
Islanders are holding on for dear life.
A couple of those big comebacks by Carolina at the end of those games.
Yeah, you just went, no, guys, you're not ready for prime time. So I'm saying, really, how much time we're going to talk about it? We will talk about what they're going to do in the future. I don't have a problem with that. But that's what I even said coming in there. I was taking notes. I'm saying, notes for what? Washington and the Rangers. What notes?
Yeah, I left a lot of that blank, too.
Yes, and everyone what do you say? Washington, glad you made it. I think Pittsburgh would have competed better. Or maybe Detroit.
Even Philly.
Or even Philly. These guys were flat. It just looked like we made it. Go home. Well, if that's how you're going to show up, then you should have stayed home in the first place. You know what I mean? That's all they did. Remember, 10 games left. Nobody was talking about Washington making the playoffs.
I think
they were in the mix, but you weren't. Were you? I wasn't picking them.
And
why? Because
someone had to backdoor their way in.
Okay, and they did. But here's what makes it worse. So when you think about it, as we were all saying, some of these series is what's the separation in the league? How far are you away? Washington's far away.
Yeah,
that just proved that they got in the back door. Great run. They might not make the playoffs next year.
I wouldn't be shocked if
they were. No, I wouldn't be either. So yeah, we're not talking about that. Sorry, Islanders. Hey, Patrick Roy got his job. Well, no, he's got to get his job. Couple games they were there, they blew. But Carolina was bigger, faster, stronger. We'll get to that.
Better.
Which is there. There you go. So,
but back to the Leafs.
Yes.
So this is really interesting because I think both teams' perspectives, whoever loses, heads will roll. Because think about the Cam Neely regime in Boston. How long have they been in power for? Almost 10 years.
Okay, so wait a second here. What have they done? This would be a second in a row. But besides that, Boston,
which would be the first time in NBA, MLB, or NHL history that team has blown two straight 3-1 leads.
Yeah, in the history of Boston. So guess what, Boston? You had a lot of winning.
Sports.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. And they've got a lot of winning, right?
Bruins?
No, the whole Boston thing.
Oh, sure,
I heard that thing. Nobody's ever lost a Boston team 2 years in a row, lost 3-1.
Not even, but just all the sports. NBA, NHL,
That's
MLB.
what I'm saying. All of them.
Ever.
Nobody's ever done it 2 years in a row. None of them. So why can't we have a first time Toronto? Shout out for Toronto. That's
exactly.
Okay, I'm just wanting to make sure you're on there.
Exactly.
Because more broken hearts are on Saturday than Thursdays.
When we were down 3-1, I never wavered.
Okay, and I was out here saying there could be some team had to come back from 3-1. We said that at the beginning.
Sure.
So I'm agreeing. So this is my winning call if they get through because some team had to be.
By the way, all the revisionist history here is pretty hilarious now because people are like, "Oh, who would have seen this coming when the Leafs were down 3-1?" I'm like, I did. And I have friends telling me "Oh, but you didn't really believe that, did you?" I'm
no, you're a dumbass. You got to believe that. That's what I'm saying. I hate that.
You want to know the worst take I heard when the Leafs were down 3-1? So that they're like, "Oh, Andrew, but if the Leafs lose, they get rid of Keefe, they get rid of Marner." I'm like, well, you know what's better than than being whatever, these guys proving me right? Them winning and proving me wrong.
Exactly.
That's
what
win.
you want. Exactly.
This is the playoffs. Yes. The Stanley Cup playoffs, man. Come on.
No, that's what I'm saying. You put everything else aside. If you, that's what I'm saying about. I'm trying to tell people. I'm loving to hear that because we did watch Game 6. At the same time here in the Chaos House, in the man cave, and I love watching. Hey, cheers to that! Cheers to that, man!
That was a good night.
Yes, and not only that, but you to watch team win. That's why we watch the games. So why would you have any doubt? I would be I just go and say, "How you doing, Leaf fans?" That's all I do. That's all I can do.
This isn't like when the Leafs were bottom 5, and you're like, "Okay, we got time to get this guy out. Time to get this guy out." No. Time to win here.
No, you got to do it.
Let's go.
I agree. I don't have a problem with that. What I'm finding so weird is the injury situation that you guys have gone through. And
with Matthews?
And first, Nylander. Nylander's looking great again. What went on? He was best player on both teams the other night, finally.
To put in the Dune perspective, he was Lisan Al-Gaib.
There you go.
On Thursday.
Yes, okay, I got you. So now, but my take on it is this, is that, he can do it again tonight.
Sure.
Pasternak, you know what? Pasternak has not been the best Pasternak so far.
No, he got called out by the coach, too.
Oh, yeah, and I think that was a bad move.
I did not get that.
They lose it, and I didn't get it either.
It was weird, though, because he kind of defended Marchand, but in the last 2 games, I don't know,
Marchand's getting a little off his game, too, because we're hitting him hard enough.
Especially Game 5.
Yes, we're hitting him hard enough. You got to hit him back harder. They hit you, hit him back harder. That's all, and we're doing it clean, and we're doing it at the right time. Even though I do agree with this. If he
especially when McCabe and Benoit are out there. You're not getting into our zone cleanly.
Okay, another good call by glad we're in the chaos. Glad we're at the Cruz's house. Because one of the things I've always said when I started in January, this Benoit guy's not starting in the playoffs. I don't get your team. Okay, he's
played
there.
Every game.
Okay, another thing is the other going to say is this. Why don't they give the Robertson kid more frickin' ice time?
Well, who are you taking away from Nyes?
I don't know. No, I don't know. But I mean, he does not. When he's
That's
out there, he's buzzing around.
I don't mind him on the third line because, like, who are you going to take off?
I don't know. That's right. Nyes is playing great. You got to leave him where he is. He's got to get
that
his
first line.
too.
Even if Matthews come back, I would not like that Domi because he's winning so many faceoffs. Him, Marner, Bertuzzi, leave them 3. Leave them.
Okay, even if he comes back tonight.
Yeah, I would put Matthews with Nylander if that's the case.
Okay,
Nylander and Nyes, and then he moved Tavares down to the third line with Robertson and I guess Yarncroke.
I don't know. Yarncroke's looking kind of like I thought he'd be better.
I think he's solid.
He's solid, but
solid.
He doesn't look like he doesn't scare me in the offensive zone at all.
That's fine. Third line.
Okay, but you got to make it look like you're going to get a shot attempt. That famous shot attempt. Can I just go out here one more time and let the whole world know how much I hate when they say shot attempt?
Oh, you would have hated the Oshawa game last night. They missed so many shots high.
What is a shot attempt?
Yeah.
Drives me nuts. That means you failed. In the NBA, when you take a shot, they say that's failure.
Well, you say...
And the NBA, it's an attempt.
Well, you say hold on, because you were saying, like, guys, just shoot the puck even if it goes into whatever the guy's shin in front of you. That's a shot attempt.
No, that's just if it doesn't the goal, it means you did dick all. If it hits the guy there, I'll give the guy the defensive break because he blocked a shot. So I like the block shot because he got in the way of it. But sometimes you just got to go. So let's just talk about these series, okay? When Carolina was down to the Islanders, what did they start doing? They fired the puck from everywhere, and then they shot the puck from some again. They got away from because you know what it did? It broke up the clogging in the middle.
Right.
It created more rebounding and shit because they had to come back. They're down by goals. So what do? They come out the middle. Colorado shot more than anybody in this series, and we'll get to that. Where's Winnipeg?
Home.
And
home.
And another thing that Toronto's got to do pretty damn quick here is like your special teams, which we have harped upon. Yeah. What are you
Power
thinking?
play especially. Like, what's going on there? We can't even enter the zone.
You guys, what do they say on average? If you score 3 goals in the playoffs, you got a 60-some% chance of winning if you score 3 goals. You guys have won 2 games scoring 2 goals. That means you're now playing with fire. So guess what? You got to score tonight. So who's going to play goal? You think Allmark's starting tonight?
Probably not.
No. Okay. So how?
That would be the overthink of the century.
Oh, it would
Stanley.
be, or they should have done just what they were supposed to do and switch one goalie for one goalie, because then you wouldn't be in this situation, would they, Boston? So good. I'm glad you guys overthunk your shit too, because as long as Boston's ain't playing, I'm happy. You know my thing about Boston. I'm a hater. Do I have to proclaim it again? I don't give a shit as long as they lose. And I like the idea of being the first team in history of the fabled city of Boston that a team came 3-1 in a row, lost 2 years in a row. Oh, I would be like, thank you very much. Screw them. You won. Sometimes you got to lose, right?
Sure. To bring this back to Leafs, though, one guy that I do got to give kudos to these last couple games, Sheldon Keefe.
Okay, for the way he's played the play,
he's done everything. Like I would not disagree with any of the moves he's made the last couple games.
Okay, and not only that, but you know what it is? The forecheck's on. The vaunted Leaf forecheck that he gets going, and it's
dare
working.
I say it? I think they're playing for him.
Well, maybe
because you heard his his little pregame speeches last couple games. Like that would have fired me up. I know that.
Yeah, okay, but exactly. But I mean,
meanwhile, some of like what Montgomery's saying is just like, guys, come on, let's not lose again.
Oh, I know that. I know because he's looking more wired than I've ever seen him. Like he's like, I'm not saying
everyone though, like him, Marchand, like all the leadership there. It's weird.
Well, that's a good thing because they know that they're on the precipice of doing something that I would like. That's all I'm saying. They would do something I would like. You know what I mean? I hate the Bruins. Come on. I'm sick of them.
I'm no fan of them either.
Okay, there you go. And especially in this city, I think it's the only thing that Leaf fans have in common.
Yeah, it's like the meme of like the Arnold and, oh my God, what's his name? He played Apollo Creed and Rocky. I'm blanking. He just died too.
Oh yeah, Carl
Weathers with like their handshake with the whatever and Predator, where it's like Leafs fans, Habs fans hating the Bruins. That's what we mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it's going to be. And you know what I'm saying? I won't be disappointed if this happens to them. As a matter of fact, I'll clap. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be upset about it at all. And I think it's really cool that it so happens, like, because back in the day it was like that, especially your folks must know that. The game starting on 8 o'clock on Saturday night.
Classic hockey night in Canada.
8 o'clock on Saturday night. You got the game, and it's against Boston. Now, can I just say one thing about this? With the people of Toronto who get on the air and they get their professional jobs to talk about the sport, quit bitching because some hockey games start at 10 or 10:30. Don't ever think about the crowds out there.
What do you mean 10 or 10:30?
I hear a lot of bitching on the air about, well, we got to go to bed by then. Like, if they go to overtime and shit, and especially the game goes later, then they start at 10:45. Like, holy shit, man. Like, that game doesn't get over at this time. And I'm thinking, so what?
If you're working the morning shift, I can understand why you'd be upset.
If you're a professional and saying that, shut up. And I'm sorry if you do it. I'd stay up anyway. Now, I'm a night owl. I'm a known night owl. But I mean, people that bitch about that kind of shit, I think about the people on the other side of the fence who have to always got to accommodate their lifestyle to pacify the people in the East. Like, I think it's kind of bizarre because I talk to my brother all the time.
Oh, it's going to be worse for NBA Finals because all those are like 9 o'clock starts.
Oh, yeah, a lot of them are going to have to be because it's going to be 6 o'clock starts there or whatever it's going to be there. It's got to be like that. But I'm just saying is that don't cry about that shit because you got to think about those people and their passion and their time too. Come on, you know what I mean? Like, I was saying, like, sometimes when I see I talk to my brother, I just realize he's having a coffee because it's 10 a.m. when the Lions game's coming on. Because 1 o'clock
Where's
here.
he live?
BC.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
Get up the breakfast. Sometimes I think that's kind of cool, and then other things at times I go, no, that's not so cool.
If you're into like combat sports, it's kind of cool because you go out for drinks after the fight.
Yeah, well, that's exactly. That's the same thing with Monday Night Football.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, like things like that. It works out in that way. But I'm going, no. Like, get up. You have to have 10 o'clock in the morning. Start watching football. I would do it. There'd be no doubt. I wouldn't even. And the people that live out there, it must be normal for them. You know what I mean?
So, and apparently, Austin Matthews, it is still unsure whether or not he's going to play tonight, although he was spotted in a Star Wars shirt today.
Oh.
For May the 4th.
May the 4th.
Matthews is one of us. He is a toxic fanboy just like me. So.
Okay, there you go, and that's not a bad thing. Okay, so here's what you should do, and I've heard someone else say this, but it would be so badass. They can't do this anymore because of gambling. Gambling, yes.
No, well, they brought this up on 32 Thoughts, actually. So the issue is that there's just not enough money going on NHL bets, so like it's not an issue for them. Nothing's going to change. So their joke was, you got to bet more on hockey then to change this.
That's that's a Jethro Bodine answer, but that's another story.
Well, they obviously said that tongue in cheek.
Of course they did, but it's funny.
It is funny.
Okay, so anyways, what we're talking about the gambling now, I'm losing my train of thought.
Leafs.
Yeah,
Matthews.
Oh yeah. Wouldn't it be great if they skated out, but it's not in Toronto, so it wouldn't matter. But it'd be cool. The last guy that came out on the ice with his bucket on was Matthews.
I would do that anyways. Because the TV cameras are going to be on them.
Oh, damn, for sure. But it's in Boston. But you know what I mean? I wonder if they're going to be a roar tonight. Did anyone buy any extra tickets? Like they had to do in Jersey, like in Philadelphia?
I don't know about that. I don't think they got to worry about that. But
it's in Boston.
So apparently they took extra steps to conceal Matthews today. So they dressed all forwards in one color at practice. They didn't run lines, and they kept the skate to 15 minutes.
Interesting.
At which time Matthews left. So.
Okay, so that was this morning for the morning skate, right?
Yeah.
Okay, no energy wasted. They're all eating freaking protein shakes and having a snooze.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
I expect them to, Nylander, Matthews, I expect to be snoozing right now as we record this.
No, I think it'll be a little later.
Around 3 or 4?
Yeah, because the game's at 8, right? So they're
not, that's true. That's true.
So they're going to,
Well, they should, I know what Gary Roberts used to do. He used to get a hotel room even in his home city.
Yeah.
Just to get a snooze before.
Yeah, get away from everything just before the game. And I understand that, too, because then who started doing that, too? I think that might even been Scotty Bowman did that with the Habs. Like sometimes, I think it was him. Like he would. Was he one time that they did, or was it a football team? What they did is the night before the game, they made all the guys go stay at a hotel in town.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, it's a good idea sometimes. You know what I mean? At least all the
not
teams
opposed to it.
the bonding issue, everyone gets stronger, everyone loves each other, everyone can kumbaya themselves and all that other stuff, stupid stuff. Hey, Toronto, how you feeling right now? I wish, sometimes I feel like I was going to go out in the street and do that with the pad that I hear, and then I thought, what if people get angry or you look at the wrong way? Because I definitely want to do it like wearing a Habs shirt or something.
Yeah, it looks like you're trying to provoke people.
That's what happens. So then it doesn't work, and then it's because I'm happy for them. And the people that I know that gamble up
you say that, but then you're trying to provoke people, so you don't think you're that happy.
I'm not being.
I don't know. You were being pretty salty. Game 6.
Nah.
I
I was just saying that I didn't want Toronto to blow it. That was the number one thing. But the guys around here that I've seen for years that we all gamble.
You're talking out of both sides of your mouth, so I'm not sure.
Okay, so I'm hoping that Toronto wins over Boston. You know that, right? You got to know that. I don't know. Okay, I got to know that. And that's what I was saying. People in the neighborhood that I will see around here, we will be talking about it. Now my fellow retirees, as we walk through the neighborhoods with our dogs and the people that I gamble with on a regular basis, they know that I'm thinking it's better for the city.
Sure.
It's better for the state mains. It's better for the Chucks. It's better for the mom and pop stores. It's better for
Shoeys.
Better for Shoeys. Yes, all of that kind of stuff. So we're going to lean on it that way, but it should be interesting. I'll be at a Kansas concert, like I said.
Anything else for Leafs-Bruins?
Just that I hope that now that you told me that stat, I'm going to think about it all day. The first time.
Manifesting.
Yes, because it has to happen for a first time. Right?
Why not tonight?
Why not tonight? Something has to happen on a first time.
Why not my Leafs?
There you go. I got you.
Go Leafs, go.
Go Leafs, go. That's all that we can say is, did we discuss where they're going to be playing next?
The winner, we can wrap up the first round series there because the winner of Toronto-Boston will be playing Florida, who beat Tampa Bay pretty handily in 5 games. I think both of us expected that series to go longer.
I did too. A couple
rumors that John Cooper might not be back in town much longer.
Yeah, where did that come from? Because
he's been there like a decade though, so that's kind of I think where people are going with that.
Shelf life.
And plus Stamkos, what's his future there?
I don't know. Coming to Toronto, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to stop that.
Or how about Utah?
Okay, I'm not.
Utah's going to be throwing around the green this summer.
Okay, that could happen too. And if he takes the money too, is there? But they got to pay a lot of taxes, not state, don't you? That's not
Utah.
It's not a tax-free state. Doesn't matter now. Stamkos has made his money.
Yeah, exactly.
So to speak. But no, you know what? A couple of those games were pretty close. They were close. The
first few.
Yeah, and then, but by the end, you just knew Florida just put them away.
Florida smacked them in Game 5. It was like 5-1, 6-1.
Yeah, I just said, no, let's get this over with, and that's the way it is. But when I heard about the Cooper thing, I was like, But when you say the 10-year part, it makes sense. But are they going to fire him, or is he going to?
I think he would leave as a free agent, if anything. Look for a new challenge, that kind of thing.
Yeah, no acrimony, that kind of nonsense, because he got his accolades and he got a couple cups.
There you go.
That should be good enough.
Been to the finals 4 times.
Yes. Got a good resume. Like, not many coaches better than him in the NFL. And he's still only what? Is he 50? He's around 50, isn't he?
Well, I don't know his age, but I would say he's the best coach in the NHL.
I'm not saying
if I had to handicap it.
Yeah. Point well taken.
Moving it over to the Western Conference. I guess we'll start it with Edmonton, LA. LA just seems to be moving backwards. Already a talk of a Pierre-Luc Dubois buyout this summer. He's 1 year into an 8-year deal. We're already talking buyout.
Straight to Montreal.
You can have him.
He's gonna be the reclamation project of all time. He's just
my God.
He'll come back to Montreal and play just the way everyone
imagined. Because no
French
guy has ever suffered under the pressure in Montreal.
He's just gonna come back and be the guy that he was when he was playing junior in Quebec. He'll just fly around the ice and do crazy ass shit.
Junior hockey.
And he's a big boy.
Okay, big boy. What's between the ears, though?
Okay,
how was his stat line in that Edmonton series?
Well, he had some shot attempts.
How many shots on goal? I believe like the last 3-4 games, he had 0 shots on goal, 0 points, just zeros across the board.
His numbers were just this side of atrocious.
So
why would they buy him out? It's weird.
So the interesting thing is if you're most of the time how it works is that buyouts it's 2/3 of the salary over double the length that you have left. But if you're under 25, it's 1/3 instead of 2/3. And LA basically has until like
June 1st or something. July 1st.
It's June, like it's whenever like the last possible day of the Stanley Cup Finals is. That's when his 25th birthday is. So that's when they have to decide by.
Whoa.
And also, there's some question now about Rob Blake. Some guys at the top. It's going to be a very interesting summer in LA.
They could be moved
because they've been moving bakowards. It looks like they lost in 7 to Edmonton. Next year, lost in 6. This year, losing 5. Kopitar and Doughty not getting any younger.
No. And they had a nice run.
Beautiful run.
Yeah.
But it's time to turn the chapter. I mean, Quentin Byfield, I think he's becoming what a lot of people thought Dubois was going to be.
Good hockey player. Very good hockey player. No, I thought LA played hard. I thought Doughty took too much abuse. Like, someone should have helped him out. Like, they just hit Doughty every chance they got.
Well, why wouldn't you?
Yeah, but come on. Like, someone got to help him out along the way. You know, and he still played great. Great. But I bet you he's in one of those ice machines for a long time after that, man. And he scored some.
There's a reason why he's not at the World Championships.
There you go. Yeah, no. Doughty has no reason to be belonging in anything like that. He wants to get some more NHL time in. But that series doesn't matter. Edmonton did their thing. What's the series after that? I thought that shouldn't even went as long as it did. Edmonton's a powerhouse, and look at their power play. Like, that's a big difference in that series, Mike. Remember all those periods when things were tight? Edmonton power play score. Bang, game over. You know what I mean? That's
Hyman, McDavid, Draisaitl, just all animals.
They just, that's what I'm saying. So a lot of there. So so they get the winner of the Dallas series, right?
No, they get Vancouver. So we'll talk about Vancouver and Nashville. Vancouver wrapping that up last night. 1-0 win.
Final goal 1 minute and 53 seconds? 1
2 minutes left, basically. Yeah.
I watched the game. Yeah,
I called it 2 Canucks in 6. I'm happy about that.
There you go. That's the thing is about that. I thought Wood might go 7. Weird series, but I'm glad Vancouver won.
I'm happy too.
You know what I mean?
That guarantees with them. We'll talk about second round a little bit later. Yeah. But that guarantees a Canadian team goes to the conference final.
Yes, it does.
Very cool.
Yes, it does.
Winnipeg, Colorado.
We knew this was coming. None of us took Winnipeg, and it was worse than we thought it was going to be.
And an unnamed player from, I think it was a guy from either Colorado or Dallas, who was basically saying that Winnipeg was going to get their asses kicked in the first round.
And they did.
Small defense.
You know, I feel bad because another thing that happened too. What are you? Never mind. One of the things that we said, and it really stuck out this too, is that not only is Colorado coming at you and getting shots. One other one?
No, I'm good. I got to drive soon.
Colorado came in waves, and I think they got the best 3 lines of any team left in the playoffs that they can come at you. Who else would you say more? New York?
No.
Carolina? No. Vancouver?
Carolina doesn't have the top end talent. That's the issue.
Toronto probably does. Okay, but outside of that, we got to make sure that they get there. They're already there. And they just steamrolled Winnipeg and then add on the same thing that we're beating the dead horse about. Did you see Winnipeg's special teams as opposed to
awful
Colorado?
And their small defense, I think that's something they got to address in the offseason.
Really? They're small?
All their defensemen, they're all like 6 foot and under.
Yeah. And Colorado looked like they were coming at him in waves, don't you think?
Mean.
Yeah, knocking them over and doing shit. And I think Colorado, who do they get?
They will get the winner of Dallas Vegas. And I guess we'll just get right into Dallas Vegas then.
This has been probably, I would say, the best. Is it the best series?
That or Leafs-Bruins. I mean,
they're both there on each side. Yeah, they're both there. But I mean, the quality of the games, because first
incredible.
Of all, yeah, every game. You guys puked up Game 5 to kind of make the series go off the rails a bit. So if you're talking about the quality of every game, every Dallas-Vegas game has been a dog fight. And then the weird thing with them winning, winning away and then coming back and winning, you know what I'm saying? It's just a weird thing. But now we got Game 7 in Dallas. So the situation should be Dallas should be the favorite. I wonder what the betting line is. Did you see? We don't talk about the betting line. But I'm just wondering what the betting line is going to be. It's just
Dallas favored. It's minus 150.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, it's supposed to be to pick 'em.
Yeah, pretty and then hold on. Then Vegas is plus 130.
There you go.
I'm still sticking by Vegas.
Okay, and you still think Vegas is going to win the Stanley Cup?
Why not?
If they win this, because Dallas, I was saying that they're going to go just as far.
Although, winner of this plays Colorado.
So that could
be. I think the Western Conference champ comes out of that series. Whoever Colorado.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree because I think they'll beat Edmonton because Edmonton hasn't done anything to make me go, wow.
Yeah.
And then they play who now? The winner of the Vancouver, right? And they're going to beat them for sure. But I don't think that their back end's going to hold up enough. Mm-hmm. I hope they do because, like you said, at least we know a Canadian team's going to go to the conference final.
Yep.
You know, that's always a good thing. You know what I mean?
So I guess we can preview the 2 second-round series that we know are guaranteed. One of them actually starting tomorrow. Yeah,
Tomorrow.
New York, Carolina. We'll start it right there. I got Carolina in 6.
Wow. I tend to agree with you, except I'm going to say Carolina in 7.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Why are you saying that?
Something about the Rangers. I don't know.
Something about the Rangers. Yeah, me too. I think it is. Maybe we'll see it now, but Washington was just no competition. You know what I mean? It didn't look like any competition, and it didn't look like they didn't steamroll them. But I don't know what it is. No, did we not see any toughness, or maybe because the other series there was a little bit more of a competitive level, a little bit more of a banging kind of thing going on that we didn't see in that series. So it looked like the Rangers just skated away and did nothing. I don't know, but I got the same feeling, and I just seen the way that Carolina played against the Islanders, because the Islanders put their backs up, and Carolina said, "Oh yeah," and made those games. So if you look at this 2 series, I watched almost all the games.
Ever since trade deadline, though, Carolina's looked like they've turned it up a gear.
Oh, definitely, yes, and that's what I'm saying.
Although there's that weird stuff with Rod Brindamore now. The weird contract rumors.
Which is what?
That they're lowballing him.
Oh, that would be really stupid.
And his assistants, allegedly.
Okay, so whatever happened to Freddie Anderson in Toronto?
He was not playing up to snuff at playoffs. He was just not even in games, injured. I would argue he hasn't even been playing that well in Carolina.
Oh, these playoffs, so he's been great.
What's his save percentage?
I don't know. I bet you it's 9.5, 9.10. 9.10, I'd say. Is that realistic? 9.25 maybe? Because, come on, he's had some games where he's made huge saves. And I sometimes say...
Okay, 9.12, a little bit better than I thought.
Yeah, and you know what? Sometimes the save percentage is huge to know, but sometimes in these playoffs, it's like when you make the save.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And Freddie's made huge saves.
Hey, I'm happy he's doing well, but...
Yeah.
I don't know, Toronto... Especially like he would have wanted more money, it wouldn't have made sense.
Well, we know the money thing was going to be the big thing. I don't think it was the quality of his play, because I remember he had the injury problems, and he had a couple of playoff games series where you went, "Oh, Freddie," you know what I mean? Like he didn't like jump you there, but I always thought he was solid. And then when he was going to go, like who have you had since him?
I mean, we've had guys that have like done the job. Like Jack Campbell was good here.
Oh, but that's right, for that short period of time. Smartest move ever, and we did say that. Don't give the guy the money. No, don't give him the money. But why did we say that?
It's okay now. We got Wallen Samsonov.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Are you guys going to sign Samsonov back?
I think it's possible. Why not?
Hometown discount or something?
Maybe.
I don't know. I love your theory of how much you're going to pay your goaltenders. $6 million?
Yeah, as a tandem.
So, and you can pay
Cap's
Wall
going
that.
Up, so let's say maybe 7, but...
Okay, but no, you don't have to worry about it because Wall's still under that rookie bullshit.
$800,000 next year.
Yeah, so you got that, so you can afford to pay Samsonov another year, but you're going to pay him 5? Is that how much you're going to keep him?
Probably 4, I would say.
Okay, you give him 4.
Maybe 4.5.
But wouldn't you give Wall a bump just because?
Well, we don't have to worry about that for another year.
Because that's CBA.
Yeah.
So they don't have to pay him more. That's already just in the collective. This is how you.
Well, it's his contract.
Yeah,
it's already settled.
They can't. You
can't negotiate in season or whatever. No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we keep hearing that. Sorry, Mr. Wall.
And the other, he'll get his money. And then the other one, of course, Vancouver, Edmonton. All Canadian first round matchup should be a lot of fun. I'm taking the Oilers in 6.
Oh yeah, easily in 6. Edmonton didn't. I mean, Vancouver didn't do enough for me in their series either. You know what I mean? That was a weird series. As a matter of fact, at one point, I thought that Nashville was going to win it. I really did. And I felt bad for Vancouver. And then that kid comes in, plays last night. Who is this guy? No, out of nowhere. What was
He's been playing solid, that guy.
Yeah, but what was his name? How do you even say his name? What was this? His second playoff game he's ever played?
Yeah, his name starts with an I. What is it?
I don't know how to say it, but the kid looked young after the game.
Oh, Artur's Seelovs. That's
it.
Seelovs.
Yeah, that's what it is. And was this his second playoff game, or is it
third? That was his third.
His third.
938 save percentage through those 3 games.
Oh, that's insane.
Including a shutout last night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But not only that, but listen, they didn't shoot enough either. Nashville. The puck was going around the middle of the ice there. Like check this. Just check a square. How many shots? 22.
They had 28.
Nashville.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
29-28 were the shots on goal.
Okay. Anyways,
I'm not gonna call the other 2 series because I think Colorado, that one, like whoever has home ice is still up in the air. So I still want to.
I say Colorado's going to go to the conference finals.
Wow, even if it's Dallas.
It could be
I
Dallas.
thought Dallas was your team.
I thought they were too, but now
Wow.
that I've seen McKinnon in that first 3 lines coming over and they hit and the Cale Makar.
You'll see a video for me for the other 2 series at the end of this weekend, seeing my
Okay.
second round picks.
Okay, that's
and you.
Yes, okay. One of the things I want to say though is Cale Makar is Cale Makar.
I don't follow.
Guy's great. He's just good. You know what everything they say about the guy? He's just that good. Like, you noticed him in that series against Winnipeg. He was like one of the guys, like, we're not losing. You know what I mean? We're not losing to these guys. Like, let's just get them out of here right now. You know what I mean? And just coming down with that wave. And he played one night, like, played 26 minutes.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And just coming on him and that Taves guy. Best combo.
pair in the league.
Yeah, bar none. And there's some good ones. There's some good ones out there. The Boston back end. There's a couple
I still
guys.
can't believe they got tased from the Islanders for 2 second-round picks.
Oh. Look at them now, though, eh? Like, that's what I'm saying. Those guys seem to be always on the ice. They're out there on the power play. They're at the beginning of the PK. And Colorado comes at you and at you and at you. It's insane. It's really, really insane. So I'm giving them a big, I think they're going to be there. But against Dallas, I'll give you wait till they get in and I'll think about it. Because I really like Dallas too. And I like the old line, new line combos that work. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like how that they've done that and what's the defenseman? It's not Hiskinen.
Heiskanen.
Is that on Dallas?
Yeah.
Love the guy. He's starting to hit too. He's starting to hit.
Told you he was good.
Yeah, he's his average and Ottinger's playing much better. You know what I mean? Because look at one of the things that you got to say about Winnipeg's a drag. That's the worst we've seen Hollebuck ever play. Like, what happened there?
Not according to him, though.
What's that?
He said that was the best hockey he's been playing in his career.
Up until that.
No, he said even in that series. He said, I know you guys will disagree with me. Which, like, I will say, I think his defense did let him down.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, sometimes he just got rocked. He
Small
let in a
defense.
Yeah, and
Small
and
defense.
they were getting him at point blank. They're firing at him at point blank. But he did let a couple beach balls in at the inopportune times, and he makes some saves, and other times he had no chance. I agree. Because most of the time he was just sitting there, the red lights going on. Like Edmonton just moved the puck around and go get out of the way, put it in the net's over. You could tell what after second game or something, this series is not going to go. Mm-hmm. Edmonton had no challenge here whatsoever. And
you mean Colorado?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, but I'm saying, now that we're going to get there, it can be Colorado and Edmonton in the
conference final rematch from a couple years ago.
I think that would be a very good looking series. I really do. I think that would be good because Edmonton's back end tries to be tough with Bouchard and who else is back there?
Ekholm.
Ekholm.
Nurse,
CC. Yeah. Like they're all like trying to be, they all want to be Bobby Orr at the same time, but it doesn't really work. But at least they stand up behind them. And with Colorado coming at them with the McKinnon crew and the next line, that'd be a fun series.
Yeah. Either way, though, we got a couple Game 7s this weekend, and round 2 starts tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Looking forward to it. Hopefully these playoffs build up after a little bit of a disappointing first round, I'd say.
Yes, did not have the, what would you say, the
juice.
The juice of a previous pass, and neither did the NBA, really.
Yeah, but the NBA, we kind of come to expect that a little bit more. NBA playoffs tends to build up a little bit. NHL starts to maybe dwindle down a bit. Maybe we don't like to admit that.
Yeah.
First round's usually the best in hockey.
It is, and it wasn't this year.
No,
and the competition wasn't good enough. Okay, well, good luck. We still got Toronto, Game 7.
Go Leafs, go.
Yes. Go.
Will Matthews play? Will the Bruins start Swayman? Nobody knows.
Well, I think that's how we really
we know Swayman's going to start net, but
I think that we should just end on that note, really. Like, why would we take it anything?
You don't have a gospel?
I do have a gospel. So let it go.
What's your gospel? Let's hear it.
Okay. All righty. As we usually end it too. How many times have we heard Father Time is undefeated?
On this show a lot.
Okay, so, and didn't George Harrison once upon a time put out an album called All Things Must Pass? Now, I don't want to get morose about it or anything like sad or whatever, but you know what? Before we think about our timely existence, we always have to debate how the greats of sports should exit stage left. And there's a variety of ways of looking at it. For example, do we want to see like Willie Mays running around 40-something years old, stumbling to catch a fly ball, and when he was one of the greatest baseball players of all time? Or do we want to see like a Jeter tour or a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar tour, which I don't mind because you can respect the greatness of the player that's going around, whatever it is, right? I kind of like the way Gretzky did it, where like the rumor went down. The night, I think he was playing for the Rangers, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the night, like now, the rumor just came around noon. This might be Gretzky's last game. What? And it was. That's kind of cool, if that's you want to 8 stage left. Well, anyways, well, you're wondering where I'm going with this right now is because let's start adjusting to the fact that we're seeing the changing of the guard in the NBA. And we are currently now at the end of the LeBron, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, all the years of excellence that they have given us that put the NBA even higher in ratings than it's ever been before. The question is now, how do you perhaps politically correct or fandomly correct or television correct send these guys off into the wild blue yonder without beating it into death with the sticks? For example, what I'm getting at is, I look at what's happening in the NBA right now, and we've got some teams going on with Shea, Ant-Man, Wemba, who hasn't even made the playoffs yet, and I'm looking for 5 years from now where I could see a conference playoff with Ja Morant against Anthony Edwards going 7 games to win the NBA championship. Wouldn't that be pretty damn badass? I think it would be absolutely amazing. So what I'm getting at is that I am not sad that 3 of these guys who are top 75 players of all time, being Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Kevin Durant, are not on the scene anymore because, like I said earlier, all things must pass. So what we will do then is they're all getting together now to practice for what? The Olympic Games in France. So isn't that the proper way that we should give them all of their flowers, all of their accolades, and say, you guys have been great, and yes, you're the top 75 of all time, and spend more time talking about the greatness of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Holmgren. I could go on to another 10 players because it is a new time and a new era. And what makes me think about that is I just retired. Which means what? All things must pass. Thanks for the great careers, you know what I mean? And all the entertainment. Sure. People do not realize, in 11 of the last 12 years, either Curry or LeBron has been in the finals. And in a few of those times, Durant was there because he was playing with Golden State. And not only that, the finals that he got to with OKC. So we'll put them away politely and call it the new generation. That's all I got to say.
There you go.
You know what I mean? And on that note, what are we going to say?
Well, I would just want to say enjoy the show tonight. Enjoy Kansas.
I will. And you don't feel too nervous. I'm seeing that the temperature and the gauge of your body language is saying the game is getting closer.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah. Oh, by the way, can I just say that your world-famous House That Happens producer, man of all things, Andrew Milani, is wearing an Anaheim Ducks hat?
Yes, sir.
It's a badass looking hat. I'll take it from the comedic point of view and your history of liking movies. How can I put it in that realm?
Sure.
Because I'd be rocking the craziest Leaf hat I ever had if I was in, you'd know I was coming.
The problem is I don't have any Leaf snapback hats, and with my hair, it wouldn't be able to fit in.
Oh yeah, and you're not. Maybe it's new girlfriend, long hair.
I'm due for a haircut.
Oh, why? Give it another year. Be
the
a long hair.
girlfriend wants me to keep it, but
there you go. Once you get past that point, it's cool in the gang.
But it just takes so long to dry after you get out of the shower.
Give it a. Oh yeah, you get that. You're Italian. You're Italian. Now this thing here, it looks like a lot. Nah, man, give it a shake. It's like a sponge. It's all over within moments. You don't notice the thing. In any event, we want to thank everybody for listening once again. Appreciate you as always. Give us a like. You know where to find us.
Everywhere.
Well,
look up for our whatever round 2 predictions we didn't get to today. We will have a video hopefully Sunday night.
And thanks to everyone for getting us to 100 shows.
Thank you so much.
Yes, we appreciate it immensely, and we're going to go on. We will also we will be the voice of the San Fran Sluggers.
Yes, sir.
Anything else you'd like to bring to the table?
Go Leafs, go.
Anyways, just to let y'all know, my name is Cruz.
And I'm Andrew Milani.
And you know what we do?
We keep the vibe alive. You can find The House That Happens on Podbean, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Player FM, Samsung, Podchaser, Boomplay, YouTube, and SoundCloud. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at The House That Happens, and follow us on Twitter at House Happens. You can also shoot us an email at thehousethathappens@gmail.com.